Hello and welcome to the final UK Pro Surf Tour event of the year. We're here at Watergate Beach for the Surface Pro. As you can see, we are underway. We started around about 8 o'clock this morning. Conditions less than perfect, but definitely plenty of waves on offer. We're just having a very short break between the under 18 boys and the round 2 of the Open. Stanley Norman there just coming through, has to change his rash vest. Conditions, as you can see on screen, very stormy. The wind pretty much coming out of the west. Looks like we've got another rain squall coming as well. So very difficult conditions for our competitors and for our judges to see what's going on. Although we are at the new facility down here at Watergate Bay for the lifeguards, which is nice and dry. We're pretty much all in one room. So there's myself, there's Anton doing the beach commentary. We've got the judges, admin, everything in one room. And we can see everything perfectly, which is the main thing. We are just waiting for the start of men's round number 2. Slightly different format in this event. So the winner of this heat will go straight to the final. Second and third will go effectively into the semi-finals. So we're kind of at the quarter-final stage now of the Open. Heat number 1, we got Can, Muzagot Thorne, we've got Max Bullen, Noah Capps, Josh Braddock, Stanley Norman. And then the second heat coming up, we have Seth Morris, Joss Ash, Jay Quinn, Barnaby Cox and Patrick Landon-Dark. Probably the biggest shock of the event so far is the tour, I think tour number 2 or number 1, Ruben Ash, has been knocked out in round number 1. So he's still in the car park. He's waiting to see how things plan out because it's still possible for him to take the overall win. It's basically a fight between Ruben Ash, Joss Ash, his brother, Noah Capps and Patrick Landon-Dark, who was the winner of our last event up in Wales in Porthcawl. So in the Open, there's still 4 surfers that could walk away with a tour title. Ruben basically has to make the waiting game now. So for Joss to win, I'll give you a couple of situations on what needs to happen. For Joss Ash to win the overall title, he needs to win this event. Ruben, he's had a first and a third, so that he can't change his overall standings. Noah Capps, he needs to win as well. And then Patrick Landon-Dark needs either a first, a second or a third. So it's literally Ruben has to sit in the car park now and watch how this plays out for the rest of the day. So there are also, in the women's, there's 2 surfers up for grabs in the women's. It's between Peony Knight and Ellie Turner. It's just 2 surfers fighting for that overall title there. Peony has a first and a second. Ellie has a first. She needs to win this to pretty much to take the title away from Peony. And in the under 18 boys, we've got Noah Capps again. So Noah Capps could possibly do the double today, taking the under 18s and the Open Tour titles, as well as the Surface Pro title. Stanley Norman, he's got a first under his belt. He needs a first or a second or a third, depending on how Noah finishes. And Barnaby Cox needs a win. Barnaby with a third as his best result at the moment. So only 3 events this year on tour. So we're taking the best 2 results to give us an overall standing. So all to play for pretty much all categories. There's no one running away with it at the moment. And the spoilers at the moment could probably be Jay Quinn. Jay missing, I think it's missing the Porthcawl event. Jay also had a very early exit in the night surf, which is a little bit of a shock. So he's out for revenge. Hasn't made a final this year. I'm pretty sure he made every single final last year. So 2018 results last year, Ruben Ash is the defending tour champion. Jay Quinn finished second last year overall. Luke Dillon not competing today, who was in third, and Joss Ash was in fourth. So Joss looking for that push to maybe take the title away from his brother, keep it in the Ash family house up in Bude there. But we shall see. A couple of the under 18s. No, Lucas Skinner not here as well, so that kind of opens up the under 18s. And unfortunately, because of the testing conditions, we're running this event in one day. So we have lost the under 16 girls and boys under 14s girls and boys as well, just due to the size of the surf and the time constraints as well. So it does sound like we're going to crack on then with heat number 1, round number 2 of the Open. The guys have been given, well, everyone's been given 10-minute paddle out today. Not particularly big surf today, but it's just relentlessly breaking non-stop. You can see the people there just bodying up. Here we go, surfer in yellow up and riding on his first wave, like Noah Caps on his forehand. A little bit sticky on that off the top, so surfers like Noah, Barnaby, and who else we got? They're doing the double. Stanley Norman doing the under-18s and the Open, so they're surfing twice as much, which on a day like today can be very physically challenging. So I'm just hoping to get some scores up. Our live scores on the UK Pro Surf Tour. Wow, that's a big score then. I mean, that's no need glasses. But there you go. So 5 surfers in this heat. Nice hack there for Stanley Norman in the red. Just literally came out of his under-18s heat and he's straight back out. They had to swap his vest, so unfortunately he had to come all the way back in, grab his RAS vest, and then paddle all the way back out again. But he's a fit young man, so that's not really going to be a problem for him. So, like I said, 5 surfers in this heat, which sounds a little bit tough. The winner will go through to the final. Second and third will then go through to effectively a semi-final. And then first and second of the semi-final will then join our 2 finals. So there's 2 heats in this round of Open. The winners of both heats will go straight into the final. Second and third will then have to fight off again. A little bit like a double elimination, like you get the ISO World Games, but does help things. Makes things so much easier if you can win this heat. You basically skip around. Here we go. This is White up and riding. This is Josh Braddock. Oh, a little bit wobbly there, a couple of rail digs, but you can see it's, the surf is all over the shop. Trying to get a little bit of a lip on the inside, and he does. Nice little fin drift there. So opening wave for Noah Caps, 3.33, and he's got a 1.33, sees him in the very early lead. Stanley Norman, just 1 wave with a 1.0 at the moment, and now we have a score coming through for surfer in white, Josh Braddock. Stand by for that. Here we go. This is yellow again. Noah Caps keeping busy. Straight off the top. This wave flattens out. And then can he hang on to this second turn? He does. So you can see there pretty much isn't an out back today. The guys are just paddling around and then you hope a little reform will come your way. And then you've got to spin around and do the best you can. 20-minute heats, best 2 waves. So you haven't got a lot of time to be sat on your board anyway. But this really is this is a marathon today. Like I say, some of these surfers, the juniors or the under-18s, they're doing 2 categories. They'll be surfing twice as much. We've got our judges, our spotters, all in situ. So just over 16 and a half minutes at the moment, and it's going to be very difficult for our cameramen to keep their eye on the action. They're trying to follow 5 surfers. It's very stormy outside. We're tucked away in our nice little office here, and they're out in the, which isn't too bad at the moment. Looks like there could be a little bit of sun coming through, but we have had some very heavy rain squalls come through as well. So we do apologise if we don't catch everybody's wave. It's tricky conditions for everyone involved today. The good news is the tide's coming in, and as the surfers get closer to us here at the high tide mark, we should be able to find them a lot easier. And after this round, we go back to 4 surfers in a heat, back to normal. This is basically just to help cut down on the time, extra surfing, because it's getting dark around about 4:30, 5 o'clock now. And we've only got 1 day. Tomorrow's going to be lighter winds, but the surf's going to be absolutely huge. So this is red again. Stanley Norman, nice re-entry there. Drifting the fins along the roof. And a second one. He needs to make this. And there you go. And he's happy with that. There you go. That's how you do it. 3 solid turns. Let's see what the judges give that. At the moment, he's down in 4th place. He needs to be up in that top 3 to progress. He needs to be in the lead to jump up into the final, which will make things so much easier. So, still plenty of time. 15 minutes remaining. So these surfers are pretty much spending all day out in the surf with a 10-minute paddle out. Especially the under 18s that are doing the double. They're literally living in their wetsuits. So, 8.33, that last wave of red, so he's going to jump up into the lead. And he's looking like the danger man. He is one of these surfers. He's only done one event this year. He needs to finish in the top 3 to have a chance of taking the under 18 boys, even though this is the Open. So he can't actually change anything in the Open. He could scupple Noah's chances of winning the Open. So Noah needs to win the Open to walk away with the tour title. Both Noah and Stanley in the under 18s as well. Quick up and down there for our surfer, and yeah, that's Noah again, keeping very busy. So you can see at the moment Stanley Norman jumps up into the lead with that 8.33, the best wave of, pretty much the best wave of the day so far, I believe. Noah caps the 2nd place. It really is a fight. No waves for a surfer in green at the moment. So where is our surfer in green, and who is he? That's going to be the other question. So Khan is our surfer in green. We've got Max Bullen in the blue. A little bit lost at sea at the moment. Although Josh Braddock, only 1 wave for Josh, but it is a 3.1. Doesn't need much to move up into 2nd place. Into 3rd place, do apologise. So the next heat coming up, Seth Morris, Joss Ash, Jay Quinn, Barnaby Cox and Patrick Landon Dark. So we've got 2 surfers in the next heat vying for a tour title in Patrick and Joss. And I'm pretty sure Jay is going to be the spoiler at this event. He's the dark horse, even though he's not a dark horse. He's finished 2nd on tour last year and made every final, so he could definitely take the win. We are now live on Facebook as well. Go to the UK Pro Surf Tour Facebook page. We are live on there. Give us a like, give us a share, spread the love. And here we go, 2 surfers up and riding, white on the inside. This is Josh Braddock. Just digs out a rail, goes down. So he's going to make his way back out the back. But as you can see, a little bit of sun makes things so much better when the sun comes out, even though it's 30 mile an hour onshore out the west. Bit of a chill in the air. So high tide today. Let me just check what high tide is. I should have done all this. It's high tide is about 3:30 this afternoon. Not a massive tide, 6.33. So shouldn't make it too bad, but definitely going to be a lot easier for us to judge and for our camera person to find our surfers. So if you're in around town, if you're over in within driving distance, we'll be finishing this afternoon. We'll be giving the prize giving later on at the close of the day. Close of the day, what I'm talking about, it's like 4:30, it's getting dark. So here we go, heat leader. Looking very strong and smooth. Just back from the ISA World Games in California. Couldn't quite finish that wave. It's going to be better than 1.0. And this is Max on his 2nd scoring wave. So what we got? 11 minutes remaining. Still plenty of time for our surfers. And normally in conditions like this, there will be a lot of waves caught because you're literally just rolling the dice, trying to find that gem in the rough out there. So 3 surfers on screen there. Got blue on the inside, you've got red. Gonna have a look at this. No, decides not to go. That's Stanley again. So Stan's waiting for his second score. He's got 1.0 in his backup score. Once that drops in, he's going to be in a really strong lead. Here he goes. Just a quick up and down. So we're still waiting for one more score. Again, first place moves straight into the final. Second and third will move into effectively the semi-finals. And they will need to finish in the top 2 then to move on through to the final. Which is the same format we had for the under-18s as well. So yeah, we're just discussing, is very similar to a repechage, so you kind of get 2 chances, which would be quite handy for someone like Stanley, who's just got back from California, surfing in the ISA World Games, where they do use a repechage system there. But as you can see, just relentless duck dives on your way out back. Water's still pretty warm this time of year. It's not too bad. You can see everyone's kind of wearing boots. You will get the one hardcore surfer without any boots. It's, yeah, we spent the week earlier the week up at the Wave at Bristol, and the water temperature there is around about 11 degrees. So it's definitely kind of 4-3 in boots. But here in the ocean, I think it's still around about 13 degrees. So there is a slight difference. So this is Josh Braddock. I snap off the top there, and then couldn't quite get that closing foam climb in. Second score through for red though, a 6.83. So now he's put everyone else in combination. That's no Caps and everyone else from second down to 5th. Need a combination to take the lead away from Stanley Norman. So with 8.5 minutes, he's looking very strong to jump straight into the final. And it's going to be a fight for second place. Very close at the moment between Caps, 7.5 combined score, and Max with a 7.23. I think we're still waiting for a score for Josh Braddock as well. And Khan has got his first wave of 0.83, so he's fine on the scoreboard. I actually thought he was out surfing somewhere warm. He must be, obviously he's back. And just look at that. Imagine kicking out of a wave, looking over your shoulder and just looking at that relentless white water. As far, literally as far as the eye can see, as far as they're concerned. So you can see no one's really kind of even trying to get out the back because the waves reform once, twice before they come through to the inside. So 7.5 minutes. Here's Blue. This is Max, cuts back. Little foam climb. See, Max has no boots, so he's going to last as long as he can without those boots. The feeling with boots, I mean, as far as most surfers go, most surfers don't like them because you lose the feel of your board. The plus sign is you get really good grip. And then by the end of the winter, you take your boots off and you're slipping all over the place. So it's kind of like it's a love-hate. It's a bit of a Marmite situation with boots, I think. I think that's one way to look at it. You either love them or you hate them, or you put up with them for as long as you can, and then once they're off, you're like, oh, I do miss me boots, but I don't miss not being able to feel my board. And you would be, here we go, red. So, heat leader. Stanley Norman surfing over the years. He's grown into quite the athlete. See how smooth that wrap was. Foam climb. His board just gliding over the sections. Little drop wallet off the whitewater there. Bit of variety as well. Just over 6 minutes remaining. Blue having a look now. This is Max. Up and riding. Little check turn. He sees a big section. Oh, he kind of lost his speed as he headed towards the lip there. He just had nothing to ride out. No projection on that turn. He's still in third at the moment, though. There's got a medic on standby. Okay, so there we go. There we go. Mystery solved. We had a mystery smell in the commentary booth here, and we just found it was Alex Ashen. Just just letting his presence known. 5 minutes 20 seconds on the clock. Tide continues to push in, so we've still got how until high tide? Still a couple of hours till high tide. Again, not a massive high tide, kind of like a normal one. Not neaps, not springs. So wide Josh Braddock there, only a couple of threes, doesn't need much to move past Max Bullen there. First place done and dusted, Stanley Norman with an 8.3 and a 6.8, it's going to be hard to beat there, so he looks like he's going to jump straight into the final. Noah Caps holding on to that second place, so close for second actually. Noah Caps 7.5, Max Bullen 7.23 and Josh Braddock at 7.07, so less than half a point between our three surfers. And Khan, poor old surfer in green, just lost at sea out there. Khan, oh, green outside, I just heard that call, so this is going to be green second wave. He, again, doesn't really need much. A high 6, we'll possibly see him in the second place at the moment. Just over 3.5 minutes remaining, heat number 1, round number 2 of the men's open. And again, I kind of like this new format about the winner moving straight into the final. Kind of taking a little bit from the WSL, a little bit from the ISA. Less surfing, you kind of preserve your energy. It gives you more incentive to win your heats, whereas sometimes you're just kind of going through the motions of, I've only got to finish in the top 2. Well, if you finish in the top 1, if you finish first, you surf 1 time less. And on a day like today, this is a massive advantage, especially with these conditions. 3 minutes, there's green on the screen, just to show you that he is in the surf. So Khan's only got 0.8 at the moment. He has got a second score to come through. Just waiting for my feed. Here we go, this is White, up and riding. This is Noah Caps. Nice re-entry, change of direction onto his backhand. Sweeping off that white water rebound there. And he's going to kick out. Just over 2.5 minutes now. You see blue on the screen there, Max. They're going to be making their way out. Unfortunately, with this howling onshore wind, our surfers probably not hearing the beach commentator. So Anton there giving out all the scores, requirements and time. Probably just being deafened by the onshore wind. Although the people on the beach will know exactly what's happening. 2 minutes in. 2 heats in this round, I believe. And then, not sure what's in after this, but we're going to be showing you what's happening anyway. 4 categories today. Open men's and women's, under 18s, boys and girls. So we've just finished the under 18 boys, round number 2. 1.5 minutes on the clock. And just another low score for green, exactly the same point, a score of 0.83, so doesn't make a change. Josh Braddock literally is within squeaking distance. Although Noah Caps has now been dropped down to 3rd place, so Max Bullen up into 2nd place. So Max and Noah will be going into the semi-final at the moment with a minute on the clock. Stanley Norman out there all by himself in red with an 8.33 and a 6.83. It's superb surfing in today's conditions. So we are men's round number 2. So we've got the women's semi-finals coming up, then the under 18 boys round number 3, men's round number 3, which is effectively the semi-finals, and then we hit our 4 finals for the closeout of the day. 30 seconds on the clock. The sun making its little self known as well. Is there anyone else?
4, 3, 2, 1.
So there is a little bit of a delay. So this is interesting. That wave looks like there was time on the screen, but there's a slight delay between my commentary and the display. Is that right? Looking at producer Biff. More or less the same. It's not too far. This definitely won't count. Stanley Norman just showing off now. So looks like Stanley will be jumping straight into the open final. Heat number 2. Official results there. Stanley Norman with a massive combined score over 15 points, which is pretty good. You can see the swell is increasing throughout the day. The wind is not going to stop blowing. It's in for the day, unfortunately. It's going to be lighter winds tomorrow, but the swell's just going to be way too big. Heat number 2 then. Seth Morris is going to be in green. Joss Ash will be in blue. Joss is one of our surfers vying for the tour title. We've got Jay Quinn, who's going to be very strong. He's going to be the spoiler. Early exit for Jay in the night surf. He didn't make it to Wales a couple of weeks ago. We have Barnaby Cox, under 18 surfer, doing the double as well, and Patrick Landon Dark, who was the Wales winner, has put himself in with a shout of taking out the tour as well. So this is going to be a very interesting heat. So we need the top 3 surfers will be progressing. The winner again will jump straight up into the final, where they will meet young Stan Norman. Second and third will meet in the semi-finals, and they'll be surfing against Max Bullen and Noah Capps. So there's a quick up and down there for Joss Ash, our surfer in blue, the tall, goofy foot. Again, 20 minutes, best 2 waves, which sounds easy, but you can see in that last heat, the surfer's keeping very busy, which in conditions like this you have to do. You just have to keep catching waves and hope that something's going to give you a little bit of a wall. There are scores out there, as you can see by Stan's scores, +8 and a +6. So they are there, you just have to be a little bit lucky, a little bit in tune. Opening wave then for blue at 2.17. Shouldn't be there by the end of the heat. As you can see, 3 surfers all in the area there. So again, another 5 surfers in this heat. Looks like there's another set coming through. You see, normally the surfers will get out the back, but today there's no out back. I mean, let's be fair, it's just non-stop wave after wave after wave. So you get a chance to kind of get your breath back. I hope a reform comes your way. And again, as the tide pushes in, hopefully it's going to get better. Here we go, this is yellow then. Jay Quinn, current European champion. Nice opening carve there. Power surfing. Slicing through this. Gets an inside reform as well. And that drop wallet. So Jay just stamping his mark on this heat. And again, probably the shock of the night surf was Jay going out in the quarterfinals. He was a current British champion, which he won down in Jersey beginning of the year. He also is a back-to-back European champion, so he's won European titles now, 2 years in a row. Welsh champion. Obviously, Jay hailing from New Zealand, but is proud of his Welsh heritage. 16 minutes on the clock, and bit of a quiet heat compared to the last one. Standing by the last score of yellow. I mean, when I look at conditions like this, I'm just so glad that I've retired from surfing competition. I'm not going to lie. This was putting on a wet pad out there is now my idea of hell. So, but then that's the beauty of being young. You can put up with that kind of stuff. Here we go. Red having a look, decides not to go. That was Patrick Landon. There's a lot of pressure on Patrick actually. Taking out the Welsh Open a few weeks back up in Porthcawl, beating Ruben. Noah Capps in second place, so there was a bit of a the young guns. They made the final. Ruben finishing third there. Quick up and down there for surfing green. That's Joseph Morris. Seth Morris, sorry. I'm thinking of Joseph because I saw him up at the wave. No relation to each other. Just called Morris. So score's just coming through now from the judges. I can kind of look over their shoulders a little bit without impeding. Oh, I got Mr. Barrington on Facebook. Barakat, I forget you haven't got a proper job and you just get to lounge around in your undies all day, surfing the net. Yeah. I hope you're being entertained, mate. Can't wait to work with you again really soon. So scores coming through. I'm going to look over Anton's shoulder now. I need to see what Jay got for the score. 6.67 for that opening wave of Jay there. See, the good thing about Jay is he hasn't really got a weakness. He's super powerful, he's super smooth, he can do airs. All he can't really do is say six properly. It sounds like something else. But then we'll have our crosses to bear, I suppose. Okay, Seth Morris, 5.6 out of nowhere. He jumps up into the first place with a 1.67 as a backup. So Jay now in second place with just one wave at 6.67. Joss Ash, that opening wave for Joss at 2.17, season third. Nothing for Barnaby at the moment on my screen. And Patrick, again, kind of lost at sea. There is so much pressure on Mr. PLD. This is Seth in the green. Nice little use of the wedge on that wave. And he kicks out. So it's going to be another score for Seth. He's going to get rid of his 1.6. Extend his lead ever so slightly. And I'm just wondering what's going through Patrick's head at the moment, knowing that, I was going to say the world title, British Tour title is within your grasp. Like one of your biggest rivals is now sat in the car park, sleeping in his van, just kind of waiting how things play out, which is a horrible place to be because I've been in this position. I was second. I can't remember what year it was. Alan Stokes was winning the tour. I was second, and it was John Pachorski needed to win the event to knock me out of second place, and he did. And I've never forgiven him for that. So not sure. And he's left the country. Don't know where he is anymore. Can't find him. Not even on Facebook. Under the patio, yes. Yeah. 12 minutes remaining. Just 3 surfers with scores at the moment, so a much quieter heat than our last one. Maybe that tide coming in has made a bit of a difference. It is getting a little bit lower, higher, so Seth Morris keeping really busy. Just looking for any kind of wall action. He's got a 3 on his last wave, so that goes into his top 2. So Seth now with a 5.6 and a 3.0 has a pretty decent lead. Not a massive requirement for Jay to take the lead though. Needs a 1.94. And remembering, first place will jump straight into the final Second and third will effectively go into the semi-finals and battle it out with Max and Noah from heat number 1. Coming up after this, we have the women's semi-finals as well. As I said, that's is that the under-18s or is that the Open? That's the women's semi-finals. So that's down to 2 surfers in the women's who could take out the tour this year, which is Ellie Turner and Peony Knight. Meanwhile, 10.5, just over 10.5 minutes remaining now. As we're scanning this wave, that right hand just run all the way through with no one on it. Might get a little reform. There's blue on the screen. So again, we do apologise if we do miss a few waves. We've got one camera person out there doing their very best in these very wild and windy conditions. As the tide creeps in, that should make things slightly easier, as long as it looks like we're not going to get any rain for a bit, which is nice as well. So Patrick, where is Patrick? Now, he's normally really busy in a heat. This is going to be a little bit of work. Seth not having a problem finding waves at all. That's going to be like Seth's 5th or 6th wave. So Patrick out there. Did you see him then? There he is. That's Patrick. 10 minutes. He's now basically got a 10-minute heat to try and catch 2 waves. Here goes Jay. Little reform. And then Patrick's going to have a look at this. So yellow with a quick up and down there. That went absolutely nowhere. Seth keeping busy. I mean, why not? And red behind him. So very important wave for red. Nice re-entry on his backhand, and Seth on the inside as well. So, I mean, great camera work. There we go, look. 2 surfers. Oh, screen's still going on the inside. So at least red is now on the scoreboard. He's down in 4th place at the moment. 5th place, equal 5th. No way for Barnaby Cox, as I can see. So stand by for last score of red. Only needs 2.17 to move up into 3rd. Nice layback hack there from the powerful Welshman Kiwi Cornishman. And another one. So that's Jay's second. What does he need? 2.1 to take the lead. I'm pretty sure he's going to get that and move up into 1st place. Patrick Landon is waiting for his score. Now we just need Barnaby to get away. Surfer in white. There's Joss on his 2nd score. In 3rd at the moment. I'm pretty sure Patrick's going to take at least 3rd place. Time's ticking away. Under 8 minutes. So, found Patrick. Where's Barnaby? Surfer in white. Just camouflage with that carpet of whiteness out there. Just scanning everywhere. I can't really see him, to be fair. That's our women's semi-finalists now paddling out. Just making their way out the back. So scores dropping in. It's going to be a solid score for Jay Quinn. He's going to take the lead quite easily. Judge is really liking that second wave of Jay's. .93 for yellow. He's now going to jump up into the lead. It's a fight for 2nd and 3rd. Top 3 going through, remember. Jay will now, at the moment, jump straight to the final. And Joss and Seth will be fighting for that 2nd and 3rd place with Patrick. Still waiting for that last score for red as well. And we do owe Joss in the blue a 2nd score. So there could be a little bit of a shuffle now with 6.5 minutes remaining. Six waves for our surfer in green. Not stopped catching waves, and poor old Barnaby can't find one. there's talk that White has got out of the water, so hopefully not an injury. So there you go, 2 scores then for Jay Quinn, a 7.9 and a 6.6. He's well into the lead. Seth Morris holding on to that second place, still looking for a Red's last score. 3.10 for Red. So now he moves up into third place. Joss Ash has 1 score to come, I believe. Quick up and down, not sure what he did on that wave. Doesn't need much to get back into third place. Just over 5 minutes then in the second heat of Open, round number 2. Here we go, Red, little check fade there, on his backhand. Not really a lip to attack. Smooth surfing though, it's going to be his second score. So, and I said it wasn't going to rain, and it's raining. So, this shows you what I know about local weather conditions. So now, another score then for Red to come through. That's going to help. I don't think he's going to take away second place, but it's going to make Joss's life slightly easier. And remember, Joss is in with a shout. Joss's last wave was a 3.23. So Patrick now drops down into 4th place with a score to come. So this is a very important score. So Jay Quinn and Seth Morris, they're the spoilers at the moment. Because if I go back to my progression of how things work out, Joss needs to win this event to take the tour title. Patrick needs to finish in the top 3 to take the title. So Ruben's out. The only other surfer who could possibly win this is Noah Capps, and he was in the first heat. He's through. So Patrick in a little bit of trouble now with the score to come. Just under 4 minutes now remaining, and after the sun, rain, we get some sun obviously, and then we get a bit of rain, a bit of sun, bit of rain. So just scouring our screen looking for people. You see blue there. So blue's Joss Ash, now in 4th place. He needs a mid-range. He needs a high 3, low 4 for Joss to get in. That's for the lead, yeah. Is he going to be in the slot for this? So Patrick's wave, a 4.5 on that right-hander where he did those nice carves. He's in 3rd. Joss, he's in 4th. Joss needs a 4, around about a 4, maybe a mid 4 to get up into 3rd place. So there's the 2 spoilers out in the water there. Jay Quinn pretty much has everyone else. Seth Morris needs a 9 to take 1st place away from Jay in the yellow. Seth Morris pretty comfortable in 2nd at the moment with a 5.6 and a 4.3. It really is a fight for 3rd place for 2 surfers that could claim the UK Pro Surf Tour. Here we go. So this is going to be a very important wave for Joss Ash. He goes on his backhand. Decent sized wave, considering Joss is over 6 foot tall. Smooth, powerful style again from the goofy foot from Bude. Not shy of taking to the air if he needs to. So that's some solid turns there. Looking to get rid of his low score of a 2.1. 2 minutes on the clock. He's going to be making his way out. Not sure if he's got enough time to bag another wave. And it does look like Barnaby did get out of the surf early. I shall see if I can find out what happened to Barnaby. Okay, just over a minute remaining then. Who's that? Another wave for blue? Was that blue then, or was that a free surfer? Because I thought Joss finished right on the inside. So 1 minute now. I could just hear that beep in the background. Wasn't anyone. So a very important score for blue to come in. One of our tour contenders could be out. It's not enough. He gets a 4.27. He needed a mid-4. So there is, what? Oh my goodness, there's 1/10 of a point between Patrick and Joss. Oh my goodness. So Joss Ash, he could lose this European UK Tour title by 1/10 of a point. It was there, it was in his grasp. Barbie Cox apparently not partaking in this heat. There it is. We'll wait for official scores, but it does look like Jay Quinn's going to jump into the final. In the semi-finals, we'll see Seth Morris and Patrick Landon Dark. So Patrick there keeping his title hopes alive, pretty much surfing a 10-minute heat. He went waveless for the first 10 minutes, and Joss Ash losing out by 1/10 of a point. Oh my goodness. I am so glad I'm not the person to tell him that once he gets out of the water. So, no rest for the wicked. We are going straight into the women's semi-final. See if I can find my women's open. So we've got two semi-finals in for the women. We have Belle Betteridge, surfer in yellow, Lauren Sandland, our surfer in white, and Peony Knight is our surfer in red. So our two title contenders in the open women's, Peony in the red, and in heat number 2, Ellie Turner, our surfer in the white in the next heat. So still 20 minutes for our women's. Still best 2. There we go. And there is a little bit of a rip going from left to right as we look out to sea. So, I mean, it just looks like the scene out of The Perfect Storm, doesn't it, really? Mark Wahlberg, George Clooney. So we've already got one of our surfers on the beach doing the run around because you will move. So that's surfer in red. Peony Knight, been spending a lot of time up at Bristol on the wave. Slightly better waves, but colder. Up there with the whole family there on Monday. We bumped into them. If you want to see what it's like, you can always check out a video we did on the Surfing Show on Facebook. Myself and Paul Barrington making the trip there for an honest and level-headed opinion, I'd put. That's how I describe it. So just the 3 surfers then. Peony, Lauren. Lauren's the young sensation. She's only, I'm going to say she's only 12 years old now, maybe 13 soon. Let's see if I can find an official score for Lauren. So, just been told, nobody really knows. They're just shouting numbers at me. Somewhere between 10 and 16. No, she's got to be under 14. She's in the under 14s as well. But yeah, very tall for her age. She reminds me a little bit of Steph Gilmore in her physicality. She's quite tall and slender for a 13-year-old, however old she is. And she can surf really. 13. We're going to be set on 13 now. Thank you, Gary. So this is Peony on her 4th surfboard there. Little self-plug. 17 minutes remaining. Coming up heat number 2, we have Asher Sykes will be in the blue, Tegan Blackford will be in yellow, Another title contender, Ellie Turner, will be in the white, and Emily Curry is going to be playing spoiler this year. Oh my goodness, that smells good, Anton. Yeah, Anton just walked past with a plate of food. Stood right next to me eating it for some reason. So standing by, first score for Red's going to be a little score because it's very tricky conditions. You can see why we've given the surface 10-minute paddle out, because there is no out back. You're literally just on an aquatic treadmill for 30 minutes. So two surfers there just having a chat. So that's Belle and Peony. Probably saying to each other, have you been out back yet? Nah, not yet. Nah, I wouldn't bother. Yeah, same. You got to catch waves. They're looking for a little reform. There is kind of a little bit of a gully where our surfers are at the moment, so there is a chance for a reform coming through there, just like where the men were surfing. Opening wave then for Red, 2.5, Caesar into first place, and Lauren in the yellow, in the white, a 1.4. So this is back to normal now. First and second will move into the final. Third place will come and join us on the beach. Just the two heats. Ah, it does smell. What is it, Anton? What is it? Just chili. Ah, it smells lovely. It does smell nice, must admit. Yeah. If next year, probably next couple of years, is that really going to be a thing now? Smell-o-vision? Why would you want that? Especially if Alex comes back in here again, we definitely would want that. Scratch and sniff. There we go. Going slightly off topic now, but I do remember that. 14 and a half minutes remaining. As you can see, conditions not improving as the tide comes in, but at least it's not raining. So every cloud has a silver lining and a rain score behind it. This is a free surfer up and riding, so we may as well watch this person. Who is that? Who do you reckon that is? It's a good little surfer. Yeah. It's not Harry Timson, is it? It's not yet. So surfer in red deck. Currently leading the tour. Peony. And there is Lauren, our young surfing prodigy, somewhere between the age of 10 and 14. Now we think she's about 13. I was very impressed with her surfing last year when we went to Thurso. She was attacking Thurso East, which can be a little bit intimidating for your very first surf up there. Just living small little, just outside Newquay, a little village over at Cuba. I think she's over there, or Crantock. See Peony now making her way out the back slightly further. She's trying to get a backup score to go at that 2.5. Having a look at this one, decides not to go. It is literally just paddle, duck dive for 30 minutes. So there's just waves breaking a quarter of a mile out to sea, just rumbling through. So I'm just gonna go and have a look at tour rankings. So the tour rankings, they do change on screen. So as the results come through here, they are updated. Yeah, they do. They're already updated manually. So Tom wants a little bit of praise. Well done, Tom. Doing a fantastic. Oh, is it? Well done, Dave. So looking at the rankings for the Open for the women's, Peony Knight with 1,860 points. Second place, Lucy Campbell. No Lucy Campbell this event? No Lucy Campbell. I think she's out. She's out of the country. Yep. I think she's back in Portugal, I believe. Emily Curry coming up in second semi-final with 1,460 points, and then Ellie Turner, just you can see down there in sixth place on my screen. Anyway, she's got 1,000 points. She's only entered one event, which she won. So she needs another first, basically, to take the tour title away from Peony Knight. And if Peony gets a first, then she will win. So it's still to play for the 18s and under. Oh, this is the Open. I do apologise for the Women's Open. So Ray just having a quick look there. 11.5 minutes, just over remaining. So in a heat like this, it can be soul destroying. You're literally just paddling and duck diving, waiting, hoping that something's going to reform and come your way. Really does test our surfers' fitness. And for the Open, that chance to miss a round by winning your heat is an absolute gift. So Jay Quinn and Stanley Norman taking advantage of that. They are now in the Open final. No such luck for our women's. They're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and get through the semi-finals. So still no wave for Bell at the moment. Our surfer in the yellow. So coming up after this, we have the under 18 boys round 3, or effectively a semi-final, and then the Open round 3 again. That will be the basic semi-final, and then we will start our finals for the day. So Red was thinking about a little reform on that one. Probably a good choice not to go. 10 minutes gone, 10 minutes remaining. So Lauren, second score then. A 1.37 and a 1.4 for Lauren to move her into first place above Peony. Peony basically just needs to take off a 0.28 requirement for her to go into the lead. Here she goes. So she's now in the lead. she's pretty happy with that one. Just shouting something, shouting something at our heat leader there, Lauren Sandland. So, keeping it good-natured. Stiff upper lip. It's no jet ski assist, obviously. Not sure if that would actually help, to be fair. But it's just a slew of white water. So do not adjust the white balance on your screens. That's literally just what the ocean's like today. It's just, it looks like it's Santa's grotto, basically, but for surfers. So Lauren, they're still padding out back though. Once you get that little rhythm going, again, the annoying thing is with the waves being so distorted and there's no real sets. It's just constant waves. You can't build up a rhythm of paddling and duck diving, which you can normally on a decent clean swell. So you might get 5 paddles in, then you got duck dive, and then the next wave you got 2 paddles and then a duck dive. So it really is down to that aerobic fitness, and then when you take off, it turns into anaerobic fitness. So 2 surfers on screen there, currently in first and second. The good news for them is there's only 8 minutes until this hell is over. And then they've got to do it all again in the final, but the tide will be a little bit higher by then. So 3 surfers on screen. So that's Belle there, join the party. Our surfer in yellow. No waves for yellow at the moment, on my screen anyway, or Anton's. So it's good to see she is out there. Safety in numbers, survival of the fittest on a day like today. Minutes. There you go. All 3 surfers on screen. Just kick in. The beauty is obviously when you have other surfers around you, you don't want to give up because you've just being competitively natured. It's literally just like a foot race now. Yeah, paddling alongside, matching each other stroke for stroke. It's like who's going to give up first? Lauren's taking a little breath. Got to do it when you get a chance, then straight under a wave. Just over 6 minutes then. Only 2 surfers with waves. Our surfer in the yellow there, Bell. She really doesn't need much. I mean, if Peony needs to get a second wave, like I say, literally, I think red does have a second wave, quick up and down, so. So I'm pretty sure that red is in first place at the moment because she does have a second wave. That wave she stood up and kind of waved to Lauren as she was surfing along it. She only needs 0.28. We'll see red into first, which I'm pretty sure she's got. So just over 5 minutes remaining. So yeah, Peony has moved into first place. She gets a 0.93. No, she doesn't. She gets a 1.1. So she's now in first place. Still no way for surfer in yellow. Only needs she needs a 3.6 for yellow to move up into second place and then go into the final. So 4 surfers coming up in the next heat. Tie contender Ellie Turner is going to be see how she can do it. Here we go. Surfer in red then spinning around. Little reform. Pumping that board. Gets a little reform. There we go. Little snap off the top there. And you see the body language there. Doesn't matter if she's standing up, she's getting scored. And that's all that matters. Under 5 minutes now remaining. She's probably going to extend her lead. I would say that's her best wave. 2.5 at the moment is her first and best wave. Lauren just soldiering away. Paddling, duck dive, paddle, duck dive. It's some form of Chinese water torture. Sounds like red got a little wave just out of camera view. Here goes white. Nothing there for Lauren. Come on, Belle. Urging you to catch something. She's going to have a look. Decides not to go. Come on, Belle. Just spin around and catch something. Get a score on the board. Doesn't need a massive score. Like I said, mid-range 3. White decides not to go. Yellow's having a look. Come on, Belle. Paddle girl. Let's go. First wave for yellow then. She's up on scoreboard. Doesn't matter. She's got a score. So 2 scores now for red. 2.93 and a 2.90. Sees Peonies extend her lead ever so slightly. Lauren Sandlin with a 1.4 and a 1.37. Still in second place. Opening wave for Belle is going to be coming through very shortly. And good to see people still taking advantage of the sea. Look, got a little bodyboarder there on the inside, just enjoying their weekend down here at Watergate Bay. And we must thank our host down here at Watergate Bay. We're tucked away in the lifeguard tower, which is newly built, finished earlier this year. So they've basically gone from a little wooden hut to now a splendid building with showers and toilets and a bar above that. Yeah, the lifeguard's still pretty much in a little, still in a little room, but they've got much better facilities here. Anything's better than a wooden shed. 2.5 minutes in. First wave for yellow, 0.8. She's on the scoreboard. So just needs a, what does she need? Needs a 2. So Belle only needs a 2 to move up into second place and knock Lauren down. Got a couple more scores coming through for Peony Knight. To keep him a bit more busier. She's got 6 waves. Our surfer in red. She's playing the roll the dice thing, which is what you got to do on today. Like today, there's no point. There is no best wave. There's no point sitting waiting. For a start, you can't sit on your board because you're duck diving. You literally just have to be ready when that opportunity just reveals itself. Like I said, there are a few gems out there. Stanley Norman there with an 8.33. in the heat one of the men's. Here's Peony bumping that board. Big smile on her face, which is good to see. I've never seen Peony without a smile on her face, to be fair. She's constantly happy. Probably has no idea how she's doing in this heat, so it just keep catching waves. Here's Belle. This is going to be an interesting wave for Belle. Oh, she only needed 2. She only needed 2 to move up into second place, but she doesn't really know that. Never give up, never surrender. 1 minute then, under a minute remaining. Semi-final number 1 of the women's. Semi-final number 2 coming very shortly. Just see the last score coming through for yellow. It's not going to make a difference. It's going to bring a requirement down, though. She's just going to run out of time, unfortunately. Peony, a little section on this one, and digs her out. I blame the shaper. So it looks like Belle's going to run out of time in the yellow. It does look like Peony and Lauren moving through to the women's final. Heat number 2 on its way. Go off that time over there. Counting down then. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So no waves caught there in the last. There's basically about a 15-second delay between real life and. So yeah. So stand by for officials. Ah, it was Harry Timpson, the goofy foot out there that we saw on screen. I thought he was out of the country, but shows you how in touch I am with the kids. Semi-final number 2 coming up. So we have, not that one, we have for semi-final number 2, Emily Curry, our surfer in the red. In the white is Ellie Turner. Again, probably the only women's surfer who could take the title away from Peony is Ellie in the white. Tegan Blackford is our surfer in the yellow. Asher Sykes, our surfer in the blue. So 4 surfers in the water. Here's Blue up and riding. A nice little turn out the back there. So she managed to get further out. Use that 10-minute paddle out. And there's red, and now this is white, Ellie Turner. So they must have found a nice little channel to sneak out the back. They look a lot further out than our last heat. So it does like officially Peony Knight, Lauren Sandler moving through to the women's final. Belle Betteridge there just coming up slightly short. Here we go. It's red with a little stall there. Emily Curry, English and British longboard champ. Here we go out the back again. Looks like she couldn't catch that. So our surfers in this heat, looks like they made either a really solid effort to get further out back, or they just found a little bit of a break in the swell and they're a bit further out. So hopefully more scoring potential now for semi-final number 2. Coming up after this, we go into the under-18 boys, effectively a semi-final, which is just going to be 1 heat. First and second will move through into the final, followed by the men's round 3. And then we'll start our 4 finals for the day. High tide is round about 20 past 3 this afternoon, 6.33. So the women's and men's final will be pretty much bang on high tide, which is, believe it or not, going to be the best conditions of the day. At least they'll be closer. So in the women's, Patrick and yeah, I know. Sounds like it sounds at home like I'm talking to myself. I'm actually talking to Dave, the contest director. So you just tell it. In the women's, there's only 2 surfers that can have the title. That's Peony, who's into the final. Ellie Turner needs to win this event in order to take the title away from Peony. And in the men's, Patrick's chances are still alive, as is Noah's, as is Ruben. Noah's out in the open. Wow. So it's down, it's between, in the open for men's, Ruben and Patrick. And Ruben has to sit on the sidelines. He's literally sat in the car park, probably listening. Like, Rubes, what are you doing, Rubes? Saw you sleeping in your van. Yeah, so Patrick needs to finish in the top 3 to take the title. Ruben's just praying that Patrick comes fourth. So, oh, he's got to get through the semi-final, yeah. So it's still on the line. It's all to play for. Anyway, that's to come in the future. As you can see, our surfer's on screen there. Surfer in yellow. That Tegan wearing a cap. I mean, you're paddling so much today that I don't think you're going to get cold. One thing I find wearing a cap or a wetsuit with a built-in hood, I get a little bit claustrophobic. And when you're surfing a heat, for some reason, your energy levels just drop really quick. It's not like a 2-hour free surf. Like a 20-minute heat will feel like a 2-hour free surf. So that's a quick up and down there for Ellie Turner. She needs to win this event. Peony Knight with the first and second from the first 2 events. So Peony came second at the night surfing and won in Wales a few weeks back. And Ellie Turner taking the win at the night surf. So two girls in for a title shout. Travel together, sponsored by the same surfboard. By us. So I can't play favourites, but I know who. I don't know. In these conditions, it's literally who's on the right wave. They're so evenly matched when it comes to their talent. It's down to who's going to find that wave that will give them a lip to play with. 15.5 minutes on the clock. Couple of scores come through at the moment. Asher Sykes in the lead. Emily Curry in second. Tegan in third, and Ellie Turner down there in fourth place. Very small requirements to move up. At the moment, no wave above 1.7. Here we go, yellow on the inside then, currently in third place. A little bit of a reform. Dealing with the chop, a slap there, but there's no face for that wave to continue. So she could take the lead on that. Just one wave for each of our surfers at the moment. So again, scouring the lineup, looking for our surfers. Got their heads down, still paddling. That's the winning mentality you need in conditions like this. It's all very well surfing when it's glorious sunshine and perfectly clean lines. This is where the real test kicks in. Test your mettle, your determination, how much you leave in the tank for that next round. So it's a little bit like a marathon. Speaking of marathons, I'll be doing a fun run, a 20k fun run. They say it's a fun run, it's not fun. I did a practice run 2 nights ago, and my legs are still aching. Luckily I've got about 14 weeks to get ready for it. So it's going to be in March. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm so glad there's no camera on my face. What do you mean, why am I doing that? I'm doing it for charity. I can't remember what the charity's called, but it starts at Morganporth, and we run along the coastline into Newquay, and we finish at the... yeah, it's pretty flat. Yeah. For 2 charities, Man Down and Communities Working Out. So if you go to the surfing show, there will be a link for you to donate. All donations will be split 50-50 between the 2 charities. So I'm supposed to be doing it in a wetsuit. That's still under negotiation. After my first training session went, I need to do it on a bike, I think. Second score then for yellow. It does move her into the lead, so Tegan with a 1.2 and a 1.0 moves up into first place. Only one wave ridden for each of our other 3 surfers. 12 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. I thought there was going to be more waves ridden, but the surfers are further out. It just looks like it's washing machine out there. Yellow on the inside, that's our current heat leader out the back. White looking over the top of that one, that's Ellie Turner. She needs to get through this heat, stand a chance of taking the title away from Peony. Surfer in red from the last heat in the final with Lauren Sandlin. Our 2 surfers joining them in this heat. Up for grabs. And it looks like Tegan's just stuck on that inside now. And the wave's just out the back, just nowhere near that wave. The conditions, looking at Magic Seaweed, is just building all day with this strong westerly wind. Let's do a forecast. I'm going to look at Fistral, even though we're not at Fistral. We are at Watergate Bay. But yeah, conditions will be increasing throughout the day as the wind increases from that westerly direction. Around 35 mile an hour gusts this afternoon when our finals are going to be in. The surf is going to be between 6 and 9 foot with an 8-second period, which isn't very good here, but 8 seconds up at Bristol. 8 seconds between waves at the Wave Bristol. I can't recommend that place highly enough. Can't wait to go back there. I am looking for free tickets. I've paid so far, but I don't mind paying because it's so much fun up there. And I'm not just saying that. Like I said, I don't get anything for free up there. I just enjoy the wave and the whole experience. If you get a chance, get to do it. Don't listen to the haters. Check it out for yourself. 10.5 minutes then. Semi-final number 2 of the women's. We're going into the Underboys round 3. Underboys round 3? Under 18 boys round 3. Which is basically a semi-final. First and second will move into the final. We have 2 finalists already waiting. So they will be living in their wetsuits because half of the under 18 boys are doubling up. Yellow on the inside, there's Tegan right on the inside. Is our camera person good? Nah, no point, they kicked out anyway. Going to be another wave for Tegan. The only surfer at the moment. Here we go, out the back. This is Emily Curry now on her second scoring wave. Cut back as the wave just disappears to nothing. It's going to be a second score though. Currently in third. She's probably going to move above Asher, the goofy foot in blue. Move up into second place. She might take the lead actually. Here we go, out the back. A little bit of a bucking bronco there for Asher Sykes. Currently in second place, but we do have a score coming through for red. So we are waiting for scores now for blue. No score for blue, waiting for a score for red. So this could possibly move her into second place, even take the lead now for Emily Curry. Say the English longboard and British longboard women's champ. Represented the UK in France earlier on in the year. And is a staple face on the UK Pro Surf Tour. Taking out the Snowdonia event last year, I believe. If memory serves me well. Emily Williams won it last year? I think Emily Curry was in the final. It was, yes. Now it's all coming back to me. Like a foggy dream. So last wave of red then moves her into second place, so 1.93. She goes up into the lead actually with that wave, so Tegan into second, Asher Sykes down into third. And the other tour contender, we saw this with the men's with Patrick. Ellie Turner, a little bit lost at sea, our surfer in the white. She needs to win this event to take the title away from Peony, who is already in the women's final. So Patrick landed in that heat. Oh, over the falls there for blue. Asher Sykes pulling the chute as she ejected from the lip there. Make sure she pops up. There she is. She's fine. Back on a board. It's amazing. It goes from like 4 foot to nothing in the space of like a second. And she's going to just try and get a wave count up. Here we go. This is smart surfing actually from Blue's got a little bit of a wall to play with. Oh, she just stalls out as the wave disappears. What do I know? 7.5 minutes on the clock. So Asher doesn't need much. Just around about a 1 point score will get her into second place. And Ellie Turner, Ellie needs a 1.2 to move up into second place. So there's red on your screen. There's white on the inside. Is that white on the inside? That can't be white on the inside. Just in the corner there. It could be white for the next heat paddling out. Oh, that's blue. That's Asher. So, Asher Sykes gets a 1.3, was that? So Blue up into second place. Tegan in the yellow now slides down into third. And still very quiet from Ellie Turner. This is very uncharacteristic. She normally catches a lot of waves. And there's a lot of waves out there, but not many to catch. She doesn't need much, though. A 2.4 requirement for Ellie Turner to jump up into the lead. Oh. Blue having a look, decides that wave just disappeared anyway. No decision made at all. So I can hear the judges talking there. White is further out the back, but just can't find anything at the moment. Okay. So White is riding somewhere. Here she comes onto screen, and there was a wave there for White. She did a turn, maybe. Maybe not. Did a turn. So Anton's giving me the nod, so it does look like she's going to get the score to jump up into first, possibly. Yeah, he's sure there's going to be a lead change very shortly. Yeah, good point. Set wave, open face and a turn. Didn't make that second turn, so she's only going to be scored on one maneuver, but it will be enough. Oh, Anton's turning into a judge now. He's giving me 4 fingers. Fourth. Oh, 4 points. Yeah, that's what I thought 4 fingers meant. Under 5 minutes. White is now come into play. So a very important score for Ellie Turner. She's going to take the championship away from Peony. Yeah, we heard 4s, 4.5, 4.5. Should average out around about a 4.33 or something. Okay, go 4.5 for White. You'll see her jump up on your screen from last to first. Everybody else will shuffle down. So Emily Curry will be in second. Asher Sykes will be third. And Tegan, who is in the lead there for quite some time, will be slowly now dropping away to 4th place. Just surfing that screen there. That was Tegan in the yellow. But the judge is just showing the difference between catching a reform and actually catching a wave with open face. And there's White just cruising across the screen there. So just in the middle of your screen, our new heat leader, Ellie Turner from Bude, the winner of the night surf, which seemed like that was an eternity ago. The night surf in June. So yellow's going to move now. So that last wave for Tegan will be enough to get into second place. Here's red on the backhand, little snap. She kind of rides out of it. Just over 3 minutes remaining. So that's going to be a very important wave for red. Emily, white, red, and yellow now. Look at that thing capping way out the back. So, is red going to take the lead? Red might take the lead back. So no, Ellie stays at first. Emily Curry will now move up into second place. Tegan will drop down into third, and Asha will be there in fourth place. 2.5 minutes remaining, second semi-final of the women's. Under 18 boys making their way out the back. 10-minute paddle out. I hope they are using every second of that paddle out. Just a mass of white water as we look on screen. That left-hander rumbling through, no takers. 2 minutes on the clock. That's an increasing swell with this wind. Let's see what we've got. It's going to be a one-day event here at Watergate for the Surface Pro. 1 minute 45, so on your screen we have surfer in white in first. Second place our surfer in red. We'll change around very shortly. Third place at the moment is our surfer in yellow. Just need a few seconds to refresh. Red actually taking a break there. So Emily Curry sat on her board, taking a breather. Probably the first time she's had a chance to do that this heat. So only 2.7 for yellow and 3.0 for blue to move up into second place and on into the final. Our two finalists already sat there, Lauren Sandon and Peony Knight in the women's final. Just saw a leg there. Not sure whose leg that was. Could have been red. 30 seconds on the clock then. Last chance for our surfers. Emily Curry looks like she's going to sneak through in second place. Looks like Ellie Turner pretty much going to get through with a warm wave. 4.5 and then Ellie Turner 0.93 as a backup. So just a one wave there, really doing it for our surfer in white. That's all she needed to do. Keeps her tour title alive with that performance. She will now meet Peony Knight in the final. Emily Curry, Ellie Turner and Lauren Sandland will be our women's open final. We are now into the under 18 boys. So we've got Max Hudson in the red, Barnaby Cox in white, Seth Morris in yellow, and Sol Hawkins will be our surfer in the blue. Two surfers moving through into the final. We already have Noah Capps and Stanley Norman in the final, waiting, ready to go. Bit of sun breaking through. Glorious sunshine in between rain squalls, obviously. That wave out the back, just a rogue wave all by itself. So again, still a bit of a rip going from left to right as we look out on our screens. So surfers paddling out way to the left, kind of drifting down into the contest area. Yeah, we have our surfers way out the back. So it does look like the surfers do get the chance to get further out on that initial paddle out, and then once you start catching wave, it's just non-stop battling. So you want to really make sure that that wave you catch further out has a little bit of open face, so the judges can score you on clean open face surfing. And then your backup wave at the moment seems to be a little bit of a reform, as that waves just push you closer and closer to the beach. Again, high tide, 20 past 3 this afternoon. So we are 2:30 local time here in the UK. So welcome if you're just joining us online. around the world on our Facebook page or whatever other platform you might be watching us on. This is the final event of the UK Pro Surf Tour, the Surfist Pro. The third event, we opened up with a night surf earlier on in the year, and then we had the Welsh Open in October last month. And this is our final one. So 2 contests out of the 3 will count. Under 18 boys. I shall tell you the situation. Who is vying for what? Under 18 boys, we've got Noah Capps, we've got Stanley Norman and Barnaby Cox, the 3 people in with a shout. So at the moment, Noah Capps has 2 seconds. Stanley Norman has a first at the moment. Just the 1 contest surfer for Stanley, so he needs either a first, a second, or a third, depending on how Noah does. And Barnaby needs a win. Barnaby has a third at the moment. So 3 surfers vying. Quick up and down there. Surfer in white, that's Barnaby. So Barnaby needs to get through this, basically, if he wants to shout to take the tour. Noah and Stanley already in the final of the under 18 boys. Use that new format. Oh, got a little echo there. One of those stutter things, those speech. You can get an app. You can get an app. You can it stops you being able to speak. Basically, it gives you a slight delay. You hear yourself, but like half a second after you say it. It really messes with some people. It's 16 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. Bit of a slow start for our under 18 boys. Again, there's just 1 heat. First and second will move on through to the final. And then we have our open men's round 3. Surfer in red up and riding then. This is Max Hudson. Oh, he gets through that white wall. I thought he was going to be engulfed. So that was our surfer in red there. He's got that opening wave under his belt. He's going to jump out into the lead instantly. Sounds like Seth Morris now out there somewhere in the mayhem. As the waves come through. So again, we do apologise for missing surfers. We've got 1 camera person out there today dealing with the wind, the rain, and soon to be glare. We will do our best to find our surfers and bring you the images. So I could stand up and look out through the windows, but I just want to talk about what you guys at home can see on screen. So there's a surfer in red, only surfer with a wave at the moment, Max Hudson, Goofy Foot. There we go, this is yellow up and riding, Seth Morris. Did not stop catching waves in his previous heat. Oh, he went a little bit early there. Oh, a little bit mistimed. But it's a make, that's the main thing. Opening wave then for red, 6.17, so a solid score for red. And he hasn't finished. Looking for this reform. Really is milking this wave. Little check turn. This is going to be a leg burner and a lung burner. Finishing strong right on. Look at the legs. Look. Is he going to do a run around? He's coming all the way in. Still going. Probably the longest wave of the day. Opened up with a 1.5. He's going to be chasing down Max Hudson, so he is doing a run around. It's going to be a pretty solid score. Barnaby Cox opening wave of 1.0. No wave for Salt at the moment in the blue. $14 minutes remaining. At the moment, Surfer in red holding down first. Second place, a 1.5, and we do owe Seth that score. That really long wave. It's going to be interesting to see how the judges are going to go for that. So. Is it going to be enough to get him through? Move him up to first. First and second will move through. We will lose 2 surfers in this heat. 4.60. It's 0.08 of a point short of taking the lead. And he's going to do a run around as well. So fitness definitely coming into play on a day like today. Not only do you have to try and find the best waves, you have to surf them, and then once you surf that wave, you've got to try and get out back again and do it all over. So no wave for blue, as I said. So Hawkins out there somewhere. Surfer in white on screen. That's Barnaby Cox, the 1.0. So White not even looking at the back, he's actually facing the beach as he's paddling. 12.5 minutes. White getting caught by this one. Barnaby. Somebody's having a look at that. Decides not to pursue that wave. Probably a good choice. So still White on screen there. 12 minutes. So it does sound like Seth has got to go straight back out. He's going to stay in that colour, so at least he hasn't got to change that, which is a good news. The bad news is he's got another 20 minutes out there. Here we go. Up and down there for Barnaby. Goes nowhere. Sun breaking through again. Sun's trying its hardest to break through the clouds today. Forecast is for just onshore sun and showers. Which is pretty much what we've had so far. So, on your screen you can see Surfer in red, Max Hudson with that 6.17, just the opening wave, best wave of the heat so far. Second place at the moment, Seth Morris doing the run around with a 4.6 and a 1.5. Barnaby, he's had a couple of very quick up and downs, and no wave for blue at the moment. So Sol Hawkins out there. Another one of our surfers lost at sea. So we've seen this a few times. Surfers not really getting into the grips for the first half of this heat, and then they kind of come to life in the second half. 20-minute heats, we've already lost 10 minutes of this heat, so it's going to be a 10-minute heat now for Sol with no waves under his belt in the blue. So we are just out there scouring the lineup, looking for any sign of life. Oh, it's much better now on our second camera. We're just cleaning our second camera. We were getting a little bit of sea mist. So Barnaby, 2 scores, 0.5 and a 1. He needs, what does he need? He needs like a 5. Sounds like Red just had a quick up and down. It's going to be a second score for Max in the lead with a 6.17. Opening wave, best wave so far. Oh, saw her head then. Just saw her head. And we lost it. So much cleaner now on our wide cam. Have to give that one a clean now. Okay. So we're just going to clean our second camera. So yeah, the wind is pretty much straight on shore, so we just get a little bit of salty seawater in the air, and it just messes with the lenses a little bit. Red ducking under that wave. Max Hudson's second score is going to be a 1.0, so he's going to extend his lead. So now, at the moment, Max looking good to make it through into the final. 2 finalists out there already. Noah Capps, Stanley Norman. So first and second of this will join those 2 surfers. Max Hudson's looking good with that 6.17. Seth Morris as well with that first wave, 4.6. Unfortunately, Seth took that wave all the way through. I think he wanted to do a run around because he was just getting washed down the beach. So he's now making the paddle back out back. And this is much better on the screen now. So much cleaner. Two surfers next to each other. No priority system out there today, which would be an absolute nightmare, to be fair. It's like night and day as soon as you clean the lenses of the cameras. It actually looks like it's sunny now. So it's like the men's making their way out the back. Making their way down Main Street, paddling. It's a bit of a daunting sight once you start paddling. All you can see is white water. There's normally when you're paddling, you can kind of see out back. You see where the surfers are sitting. It gives you like a little bit of a zone to head for. Today's like today. It's like being snowblind. Literally like walking in a blizzard. 7 minutes on the clock. Surfer in red in first place, looking pretty strong. And here we go. This is going to be a better. Oh, look at this section coming up. It's crack. Oh, goes over the falls there. So really strong off the bottom, off the top, and then that wave just like, nah, you're not doing a re-entry on me. Kicks him out into the flats. Doesn't really matter though. Currently in the lead. That's 6.17. It's probably going to do him pretty solid. At the moment, it's not really going to get a backup wave. It's got a 1 point backup wave for Max at the moment. So any improvement on that is going to extend his lead. So, excuse me while I take a little nibble of a chocolate bar. 6 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. Still no waves for Blue. Is Blue out the back? That's the question. Where is Sol Hawkins? The hunt for Sol Hawkins. So you saw there, Blue. Sol Hawkins, a bit late to the party with 5.5 minutes on the clock. Went for basically a chop up. Up and down there, I think that was White, Barnaby Cox. So all four surfers now up and riding, and well, not up and riding, but they're on the scoreboards. You don't feel too bad. I don't think I've ever got out of a heat having never caught a wave. Boys would just never let me live that down. But it did take Sol about 14 minutes to find that first wave where he went for a chop up. Here we go, this is White up and riding then. Barnaby Cox wearing the hood. So possibly ice cream headaches upon the paddle out. I didn't think the water was at that temperature just yet. So I just think you can kind of overheat with a twat cap on and this relentless duck diving paddle. It's easier to cool down than it is to warm up. Once you're in a heat, you just a little bit of a flush if you get too hot. So I suppose maybe a good move there. 4.5 minutes remaining then. A couple of scores to come through. Sol Hawkins, that chop up to nowhere. And that last wave of White's going to put him in the running for second place. Anything above a 4.5, we'll probably see Barnaby make a move. But here we go, scanning like there's a couple of our surfers, blue and yellow. So possible to catch a couple of waves. This thing going to double up? No. As hideous as it is, the sun does make it look so much better. It's such a mind game. You saw red. Current heat leader there. It made an improvement on his 1.0 though, 1.83 on his backup score now, so Max extends his lead by almost a point. That's a re-entry to the bum over the falls on his backhand. Gained 0.8 of a point. So I wonder where blue was the entire heat. He's like literally now right in the middle of the screen. It's all 3 surfers now are in very close proximity. 2 minutes 50 seconds remaining. Red's having a cheeky look, decides not to go. So Barnaby's last wave a 2.83. So he needs a, what do you need? He needs like a 3.54 to keep his title hopes alive. He needs to win this event if he wants to take the title away from Noah. But we will see. Time is not on his side. Neither are conditions. Surfer in red out there, so Max is pretty much a shoe-in for the final now. Seth Morris looking to improve on a 1.5 a backup wave. And Barnaby Cox looking for that high 3, low 4. He's still paddling. That's all they do is paddle. Paddle, duck dive, paddle, duck dive. Repetition. Again, it's a contest of attrition. Who's got the fitness? Who's got the longevity? Especially these younger lads that are doing the 2 events, doing the under-18s and the Open, so they're having to double up, living in their wetsuits on this chilly November day down here at Watergate. So once again, thank you to everyone at Watergate for allowing us to come down here for the final event of the UK Pro Surf Tour, the Surface Pro. There is 1 minute remaining. Oh, you're scaring. That little beep. You need to change it. Okay. Needs to be like a cockerel noise. Gives you a 1 minute warning. Just to wake up the judges. Anything going to happen for anyone? They're just paddling. They're not even paddling out back. They're literally just paddling in to the right as we look out to sea, trying to stay in position. Could be one more chance. Anyone going? I thought blue in position. No. Time ticking away for Barnaby Cox. His time is over. It's not going to happen for him. So the young natural foot has run out of time. So it's going to be a 2-man race then for the under-18 boys. Noah Caps, Stanley Norman already in the final. It's basically whoever finishes higher in the final between Noah and Stanley will walk away with the tour title for the under-18s. We are now going into the men's. And I will be back very shortly. So coming up after the men's round 3, we start our finals. At the moment we have 4 surfers in the water and I shall tell you who they are in literally a few seconds. Patrick Landon Dark is our surfer in the blue, so he's a title contender. We have Seth Morris that hasn't left the water pretty much all day. We got Max Bullen. Is it Max? I think it's Max. And Josh Braddock. So 2 surfers already in the final. We have Jay Quinn and somebody else, which I can't remember. Stanley Norman is in the final, I believe. So as far as the men's go, here we go, Blue up and riding then. A little bit of a rail dig there. That's Patrick Landon Dark. A little bit of a quicker start than his last heat when he sat out. Well, he didn't sit. He just paddled for 10 minutes. So he doesn't want to do that again. So the situation for the men's open title, we have Ruben Ash, who went out in round 1, but he's still in with a shout. He's got a first and a third. The only person who could possibly beat him is Patrick Landon Dark. So Patrick needs a first, second, or a third to take the title away from Ruben. Now the spoilers are going to be Jay Quinn, because Jay is an absolute beast in the heats, and he's already in the final. And Stanley Norman as well, already in the final. I think Stanley's in the final of the Open. Yeah, he is, yeah. So Stanley, he could be a blot on the landscape as well for our Open title contenders. It is a strong nor'wester, only increasing in speed throughout the afternoon. So we're going to have gusts around about 35 miles an hour this afternoon. So, and tide's definitely getting higher, but there is no outback. This is literally just wave after wave. So no real scores at the moment. It's just a quick up and down for surfer in blue. So he's kind of in a false first place at the moment. Here we go. This is yellow up and riding. Seth Morris, the water baby. Literally living in his wetsuit today. He's got a little reform coming through the inside. Cracks it. Those legs are holding up. I thought he might be getting a little bit of fatigue. A little bit of lactic acid. And he's just found one of these waves that have just gone all the way through, which is what you don't want, but he can't turn it down. He's got to keep surfing it. He did it on his last heat, and I don't think he got out back again. So it's going to be the best score of the heat so far, with 15 minutes on the clock. So he should jump up into the lead. Patrick will move down to second place. Still no show at the moment from our surfer in red and blue. There's your surfer in blue on screen there, Patrick Landon Dark. Here we go, red, miles from everywhere, Josh Braddock. So resides in the Canaries, so he makes the trip across every now and then for a contest. So he's used to big old stormy waves, but normally breaking over reefs with offshore conditions. So here we go, opening scores then. Opening wave for blue was 1.5. That long wave for yellow, 4.67, sees him up into the lead for Seth Morris. So, and we've just been told that there will be no under 18 girls final. The surfers got together, conditions too stormy, too dangerous. They get equal points, and it will just go off the tour rankings for that one. Probably a safe bet in these conditions. Okay. So I just saw red there with another quick up and down for Josh Braddock, trying to keep busy. Got to keep rolling the dice. If a wave pops up, you're going to have to go, because there's just not that many opportunities to find decent scoring waves. Maybe 1 or 2 waves a set. You got to make sure you're in that spot. Twelve and a half minutes. Yellow first, blue second. Red's had a couple of up and downs, so he might move up into second place. Josh Braddock there. Okay. Keeping the cameras clean. Here we go, blue, up and riding. The Welshman. Nice little slicing off the top. Got a little reform. So this is going to help his cause. Again, he's in with a chance of taking the Open title. He needs to get into the final. He needs a first, second, or a third. And he kicks out. So that's going to be a decent scoring wave for Patrick. Seth Morris in the lead with a 4.6. It's going to be, I would say, roughly similar score. I'm not a judge, but just talking out loud next to the judges. Yeah, I know. I do post my opinion on scoring. This is true. I'm having a conversation with Anton, and looking on screen and looking at live footage is so different. It's amazing how much you lose looking on a monitor or a TV than what you do actually seeing it live. That's one thing that's really shocked me from doing the UK Pro Surf Tour. A lot of the time, I can see the live footage, and then I can watch a replay because there's a slight delay on screen, and it's like, whoa, that looks so different. So, but Blue's definitely got a score coming through. He needs to be in the top 2. If he makes it through to the final, he needs to be in the top 3. He's in with a chance of taking the Open title away from Ruben Ash, who went out in round number 1. Probably shock of the event. Ruben has a first and a third. So Ruben taking out the night surf, coming third in Wales. Ten minutes gone, 10 minutes remaining. Halfway through this, only one semi-final of the men's. As I said, we have 2 finalists already there, Stanley Norman and Jake Quinn. They are waiting. So that wave for red, last wave for blue then. That left-hander for Patrick, 5.27. He jumps up into the lead by a couple of tenths of a point. Josh Braddock with a 2.3 and a 1.2. He is now third. And Max Bullen, surfer in the white. No wave yet. The surfer in white there, Max. It does seem to be the trend that one of our surfers just gets lost at sea for the first half of the heat. It's so weird. So Seth Morris is powering on. Hasn't stopped paddling for literally an hour and a half. He's been in and out of heats in the under 18 boys in the Open. He's going again. I tell you what, waves just keep throwing themselves at Seth. Some surfers can't buy a wave and they're just throwing themselves at Seth. It's like he's wearing some insignia for waves. So under 9 minutes now. In the only semi-final for the men's after this, we're going into the under 18 boys. Under 18 boys final. Are we having a slight break for Seth? Not sure. Nah. Eh? Yeah, we haven't really got a lot of time because of the clocks. Still change the clocks over here in the UK. We lose an hour, we gain an hour. One of the two. So we are trying to locate White. Apparently none of our judges or our spotter can see him in the water, so we're just going to check with our beach marshal, Phil from Christian Surfers, see if he picked up his rash vest. I mean, back in the day you could get away with the excuse that you didn't know your heat was in, but now we're live. Could be watching it on his phone, knowing that he should be in the water. So still no change in the water. So it could be just a three-man heat at the moment. One of our surfers is going to lose out. Here goes Seth again. He's just getting closer and closer to shore with every wave. Those shoulders are going to be burning. So he has surfed literally non-stop for an hour and a half in today's conditions. Jumping from under 18s to open, back to under 18s. And he's got the under 18s final to come as well. So if he gets another okay wave though, he could probably get out. He's got a 4.67 and Josh Braddock's having an absolute nightmare out there. 2.3 and a 1.2 for our surfer in red. That sun's poking its way through. Hopefully the glare's not going to be a problem for our judges. It's not looking too bad. It looks a lot less, still not a lot of glare. Yeah, so Seth in the yellow could have two more heats. Under 18s final and then the open final. So it doesn't look like White showed up. No way for no show for Max. We were just about to sack our water patrol for not noticing that one of our surfers is face down on the inside, but he's not out there. It's all good. And this is the downside of surfing competitions. When you get through heats, when it's like this, you're kind of happy but not, because that means you have to go in again. So it is a three-man heat then. Just our three surfers. Patrick Landon-Dark in the blue, holding on to first place with the best wave of the heat so far, 5.27, backing up with a 1.5. Seth Morris, the water baby, hasn't been on dry land for 2 hours. 4.67 and a 1.8. And Josh Braddock needs a 4.45 to move up into second place and then find his place in the final. And we do have an official call from contest director Dave Reed. No under 18 girls, so we will be going off the current results. The under 18 girls will get equal points in this round, and then that will go towards their tally. Here we go, red up and riding. Josh Braddock, see the body language there, just kind of like, what's going on? What do I do? Where do I go? Under 5 minutes remaining then for the open semi-final. And again, two-man race for the overall title. Patrick Landon-Dark is the only person really who could take it away from Ruben Ash, who's currently first place, but he's in the car park after a disappointing round one performance. Not sure what happened there. I wasn't down here in time, but in these conditions I can honestly see it's easy not to catch any waves out there at all with scoring potential. So he is now leaving it in the lap of the wave gods. Just under 3.5 minutes then. Nothing really happening apart from paddling and duck diving. We're just looking for the surfers. Just saw somebody to the left of the screen there, not sure who that was. Josh Braddock is the only person really who can move things around. These are 4.45. 3 minutes. And it's just going to, the swell is just going to keep increasing, unfortunately, with this strong northwesterly wind. It's just not letting up at all. Surfers are battling against this rip going from right to left as we look at the screen. Whenever you see the surfers, they're literally not even paddling out back, they're just paddling to the right of screen. Look at that, that's a thing of nightmares. The surfers are now surfing down into the glare, they're just getting washed down the beach. They literally come in, they paddle out way to the right of us as we're facing out to sea, and then they just drift down through the contest area. Just over 2 minutes remaining. PLD, the Welshman, keeping his hopes alive for a tour title. He took the Welsh Open on his home ground. One and a half minutes, there's a surfer in blue. It's going to be a backup score, that 1.5 is going to disappear. As you can see, the glare now, the surfer's getting blown down into the sun glare, which is a nightmare for our judges. So that's going to be Patrick's last wave with a minute on the clock. It's going to extend his lead at the moment. So now it's really down to surfer in red, Josh. 2.3 on a 1.8. So we have been told that the under 18 girls will not be running, so they get equal points. That brings it down to a two-way tie between Lauren Sandland and Belle Betteridge. And on a countback, because Belle has done more contests, it looks like Belle Betteridge is going to be our under 18 girls tour champion for this year. So that's our first crowning champion of the day. Conditions just looking a little bit way too dangerous, actually. You would not want to be out there and lose your board. So we're counting down to the end of this semi-final for the Men's Open. Looks like Patrick Landerdark and Seth Morris at the moment will move on through. They will be joining Stanley Norman and Jay Quinn in the Open final. We will be going straight into the under 18 boys, which means Seth Morris is going to be back in the water. So stand by for the start of the next heat. So coming up, we have the under 18 boys final. In the red is going to be Noah Cap. Stanley Norman will be in white. Seth Morris is going to be in yellow, obviously, because he's been in yellow all day. And Max Hudson is going to be our surfer in the blue. Once again, we will not be having the under-18 girls. It's been deemed too dangerous. We got the girls and content director together, along with the lifeguard, our safety lifeguard, and it's too dangerous. So what they're going to do is split the points from this event between our under-18 girls finalists, and it does look through that it was a two-way tie between Lauren Sandland and Belle Betteridge, but Belle has done one more contest, so she was going to get the nod. So it does look like our first tour champion for the 2019 season is going to be Belle Betteridge. So congratulations to her. A very close fight between her and Lauren Sandland. That's the under-18 girls. We still have 3 finals to come. Under-18 boys have just been given just a very short 10-minute break, because poor old Seth Morris has been in the water for literally 2 hours now. He hasn't really been on the land today. He's just had back-to-back. And this is one of the dangers of when you're a young athlete and you enter multiple categories, that you do well in both of them. You always hope to do well in both of them, but with conditions like this today, it can be very taxing. So hopefully Seth's left something in the tank, because I think we're seeing him another 2 times. He's in the under-18 boys final, and he's also in the open final. So he's got at least another 40 minutes to surf on top of his hour and a half so far. So looking at the scenario for the under-18s, under-18 boys is basically a 2-man fight between Noah Capps and Stanley Norman. So Noah Capps has got 2 second place under his belt at the moment. Entered 2 events, came second in both of them. Stanley Norman only entered 1, but he got a win. So he needs a first or a second, I think, to do this, to make that his title. Barnaby Cox was the only other surfer in the under-18s that had a chance of winning a title. Unfortunately, we lost him in the semi-finals. So let me just bring up the rankings. Under-18 boys. So we did lose. Lucas Skinner was a no-show. Unfortunately, he's out of the country. Sol Hawkins, he was lost at sea in that semi-final. Max Billen also had trouble. So yeah, the only other person really, Stanley Norman, entered 1 event and got a win on that one. So he's got 1,000 points. Noah Capps has for 2 seconds. So it's basically whoever finishes higher out of Noah and Stanley Norman will walk away with the title. 2 surfers in the running for the men's open. Only one of them still in the event though. Ruben Ash has a first. He won the night surf earlier on in the year, and he came 3rd up at Wales a few weeks back. Patrick Landon Dark, he had a first place a few weeks ago back in Wales, so he really needs to finish 1st, 2nd or 3rd, and he'll walk away with his first open tour title. So the only other people in it, Noah Capps went out unfortunately, and Joss Ash also in the running, older brother of Ruben there. 2-way fight for the women's as well. May as well cover that. Got Peony Knight with a 1st and a 2nd, so Ellie Turner needs to win this. Ellie Turner wins this, she wins the tour. Peony just needs to finish above Ellie Turner. So 3 titles up for grabs. The only one that's been made already is the under-18 girls, and that's Belle Betteridge. So I shall be back very shortly as soon as we get the surfers paddling out for the under-18 boys. Still going to be 20 minutes, best 2, I believe. Yep, good. So I'll just keep you update. Our surface for the under 18 boys are just now hitting the water. They've got a 10-minute paddle out to see how far they can get before we start the heat. And then it's up for grabs. So we do have our 4 surfers for the under 18s. In the under 18 boys, we've got 1 hour of surfing remaining. In the water in the red, we have Noah Caps. In the white, Stanley Norman. And basically, I think it's up for grabs between those two who wins the overall tour for the under 18 boys. Seth Morris, the Machine, as we now call him, and Max Hudson, bringing up our finalists. And then after that, we'll be going into the women's final and then the open final, and then we'll do a quick wrap up as we are. The sun is starting to come around, and glare could be a problem. Goodness, the cup is huge. Wasn't that big back in my day? Just seeing the cup is absolutely massive. It's like UEFA Cup. Oh my goodness. Right, so we got a massive cup here. It goes back 2011. Russ Winter was the overall winner then. 2013, Jace Robinson. 2012, Jace Robinson. 2013 was Alan Stokes. And then Jace Robinson again, 2014. Luke Dillon, 2015. And then I can't really remember the recent history. It's going to be between... It'll be between Ruben Ash, maybe throwing an Alan Stokes here and there. It's 3 times Stokesy. 3 times, so... Yeah, but not this cup. Yeah, I won this back in the day when there was no money, and now it's worth fighting for. Look at the size of that thing. yeah. Actually, the annoying thing, I never won an event. 1 year I made every final, and I didn't win one. I won overall, yeah, but I didn't. I was always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Yeah, I know, I'm just talking to myself. Yeah, there's literally, I'm not going mad, there's a room full of people that I'm talking to. So, yeah, I'm not just losing it. There was 11 people watching a minute ago. What are you talking about? There we go. Yep, I'm much happier. So if you're wondering why we're having a break, it's literally just to give young Seth Morris a chance to probably have a bite of a banana and a sip of water, because he's got this final coming up and then the men's final as well. So he would have been in a heat for literally just over 2 hours today, surfing back to back. So we did put a stopwatch on. Once they hit the water, they got 10 minutes. We get as far as they go. Once the 10 minutes is up, we start the heat. So they're still paddling. Like I say, they can keep paddling. There's no out back. Anton said, "How much would it cost to get me in the water to get out back today?" And I said, "I wouldn't even leave the car. I wouldn't put my wetsuit on." You're literally like a hamster on a wheel, just paddling and duck diving. So hats off to all our competitors today, all those surfers that waxed up, put their leash on, hit the water.
Hello, mate.
But one thing you cannot do is control the sea.
How are you getting on?
And that's the nature of the sport. That's what makes it brilliant. That's what makes it annoying.
Yeah.
That's why we love it and hate it so much.
I know.
So once again, in this final, we have Max Hudson, Seth Morris, Stanley Norman, Noah Caps. In the women's final coming up, we have Emily Curry, Lauren Sandland, Ellie Turner and Peony Knight. And whoever finishes higher out of Ellie and Peony will walk away with the Women's Tour title. And then in the Open, we have Patrick Landon Dark, Seth Morris, Stanley Norman, and Jay Quinn. And the only person that can take the title away from Ruben Ash is Patrick Landon Dark, and he basically needs to finish anything but last. So he needs to finish in the top 3, and he will be our Men's Open Tour champion for 2019. Exciting stuff. So it's just under 5 minutes now for our surfers who are still paddling. And then we will get this thing underway. 3 finals to come. As I said, the under-18 girls final has been cancelled just due to the nature of the surf. Safety aspects, we've spoken to the athletes and they're quite happy to do that. So they will get equal points for this event, and that brings it down to Belle Betteridge will be our under-18 girls tour champion for this year. Congratulations to her. Very close between her and Lauren Sadler. They actually tied, but because Belle's did one more event, she gets the nod. So there's still just under 3 minutes then for our surfers. You can see the headland there, looking back across to Newquay in the distance. That's the Hughes Hut. We're just cleaning our cameras, making sure they're nice and shiny for the finals. What we really need is a bit of cloud cover to stop this glare, which looks like it's going to happen. So, just coming back across towards our surfers there, coming on screen. And you can see they're kind of angling to their right as they paddle, just because the wind is pushing them way to the left. Surfer in blue there. That's Max Hudson. Goofy Foot. Only Goofy Foot in the final. Seth, Stanley and Noah, all natural foots, all stand with their wrong foot forward. So once again, thanks to Watergate for allowing us to be down here. Thank you to our to the Iron Life for letting us use the new shiny establishment, and also the bar above. What's it called? Windy Wendy's. What's the bar called? Watchful Mary. There we go. there's a name for you if you want a free name. Have that one. Windy Wendy's. Watchful Mary's the new bar down here. So yeah, much improved conditions for our lifeguards. So it looks like we've got 1 minute, no surfing. Okay, looks like we're going to be counting down. Not sure if you can hear Anton in the background. So here we go. This is for all the prize money. We're going to see at least 2 of these surfers in the Open as well. Stanley Norman, Seth Morris making the Open final, so they're going to be surfing back-to-back heats. Well, not back-to-back. They get a little bit of a break while we have the women's. And then we'll be finishing out the day with the men's final. So yellow up and riding. Oh, just coming unglued there. Seth keeping busy. I tell you what, this man has been a wave catching machine for the last couple of hours. Just hasn't stopped paddling, duck diving, surfing. So the opening wave is going to be for our surfing yellow. Just a very quick score, be a quick up and down as that wave was incomplete. Out the back, this is Noah Caps. So Noah wearing a cap as well. Throws out, couldn't quite get the connection, so a couple of small scores now. Opening up for yellow and red, literally right next to each other. And yellow just taking a wave. Why not? If you're not standing up, you don't get scored. This is going to be the first manoeuvre. Couple of little white water foam climbs. And he's going to do the runaround. So that just kind of shows you just the conditions the surfers have to deal with. Red out the back, just going flying past our camera person there. So they've drifted almost out of the area in the 10 minutes they've been paddling. So I cannot get across just how strong the rip is going from right to left today. So Red's first wave is a 2.0. Looks like she might have a bit of a second score for Red. For Noah. What is that? Cable. Oh. I see somebody right out the back there. That's possibly White. There's White on screen, which is Stan Norman. Been surfing really powerfully all event. Took out the night surf earlier on in the year with his clean surfing. Represented England at the ISA World Games in California a few weeks ago. I think he was there. Might be wrong. We definitely sent a team. I know that much. So Seth Morris opened up with a 3.0 and backed it up with a 2.73. Noah Caps has a couple of scores on as well. So 3.5 for Noah and a 2.0 as his backup. There's your first and second at the moment. So once again, this is basically a fight between Stanley and Noah to take the under-18 boys tour. So Noah Caps has 2 seconds under his belt at the moment. Stanley has a first. He needs a first or a second. So a little bit of a break there, look. Looks like the sea calming down a little bit. Unlike tensions in the room. So Max is doing the run around. So literally non-stop. You don't get a chance to sit on your board and catch your breath, which is what you really need. But the conditions not allowing that. It is like being on a treadmill with going uphill. So 15 minutes 45 seconds. Seth Morris, marathon man, in first place with a 3.0, a 2.73. Noah Caps with a 3.5 and a 2.0. So just over 2/10 of a point separating first and second at the moment. No wave at the moment for blue or white. So just scouring the line up there. It's just a sea of white water. I don't even think jet ski assist would help today. You're literally looking for a little gap where you have a reform. Steph's on the inside, coming into screen, keeping busy. He's playing it very smart. Not the surfing he wants to do, but he has to do it. If you don't catch waves, you don't get scored. And you're better off catching something than nothing. And he's still got a final to go as well, as does Stanley Norman. So the 2 under-18s in the open final coming up in about 30 minutes time, just 25 minutes time. Not 25, 35 minutes time. So we've got the women's final coming after this. But there you go. We're going to stick with Seth at the moment, which is a good reference point because he does catch a lot of waves. And out the back you can see White just in the distance there. That's Stan Norman. So here comes Currently second place for No Caps. He's found a little bit of a runner, a little reform. Little 2-for-1 bonus on the end as well. So, and a nice finish. And you can see he's going to do another run around. So the body language has just dawned on him that he can't paddle straight back out because he'll be outside the area. So he's got to head to the beach, run back up, paddle back out, do it all again. And Stanley Norman just out the back, just paddling, waiting for something. We're going to stick with Seth at the moment. So last wave of red of 4.23. There you go, he moves up into first place. I probably won't be able to hear that. He might be able to hear it when they do a run around. They literally run past the speakers. But when you're out in the water, you're not hearing anything apart from waves. That's that white just in front of Seth there. So even... is it white or blue? Would you say there's blue? So that's Max. There you go, Seth. Looking a little reform on the inside, looking left. Going to go on his backhand. Nice snap off the top. It's actually got a little reform on it and a second turn. So the legs are burning. So we've got a game on then. I've got a feeling the judges might like that because it was quite a clean face, off the bottom, off the top surfing, not too much messing around. I mean, the only negative is it's right on the inside, but then everybody's waves are on the inside. There's no one catching set waves today because there's no outback. So standing by for the last scores. It needs a 4.74 to move up. Just over 11.5 minutes remaining. So that wave is going to change things, I think. Seth Morris, 5.43. He's going to take the lead. And out the back, on screen, Stanley Norman just soldiering on, not panicking just yet. He knows that if he catches a wave from further out and gets a bit of a bigger face, he'll be rewarded. Here we go. Here we go, White up and riding then, first wave. He's got a big section towards him and he kicks out straight away. So there has been a change in the lead. Surfer in yellow, Seth Morris now up to first. Noah needs a 4.21 to take that lead back. And Max and Norman need something up in the 8-point range to take the lead. So all requirements now for the lead, as there's no more progression. So he literally only, well, we can tell them, they can't hear us because they're howling onshore wind, but requirements on your screen are going to be for first place. 10.5 minutes remaining then, under 18 boys final. Once again, there is no under 18 girls final. That has been cancelled due to conditions. So our surfers in the final will get equal points, but that means that Belle Betteridge will be deemed our champion for this year. The UK Pro Surf Tour under 18 girls champion, so well done to Belle. So the only surfer not to stand up at the moment, Max Hudson in the blue. He's having one of those heats. It does seem to be a trend. Somebody just gets completely lost and then catches a couple of waves towards the end of the heat. And you can see White out the back, Yellow making his way out again. So I'm wondering at what point Seth's engine's going to run dry. A little bit of a break. Look at that. A little bit of a calm. You can actually get a little bit of distance if you've got the strength in your shoulders. Going to keep those, keep them moving. Nothing out the back. Oh, we got blue up and riding on the inside. So first wave for Max, little foam climb there. Nice roundhouse back in the white water. That wave's just going to die away. Sticking with it. And a little tag. Just finishing on the inside. Oh, Max there, just losing his fins. It's going to be a decent score though. He's on the scoreboard. There was a wave out the back for Stanley Norman, but it was incomplete. 8 minutes 50 seconds on the clock. So who's that having a look there? Yellow, I believe. Out the back, here we go, Stanley Norman. He's got a bit of a lump coming towards him. Can he ride through this? No. Just gets lost in that turbulence, and on the inside it's going to be Seth Morris, the wave catching machine, looking to get rid of his low score. Keeping that ball moving, and the frustration. It's good to see he's frustrated. Straight behind him, this is going to be another wave for Stanley Norman. He's coming through the inside, just a little bit of chop there, because now with the high tide you're getting a little bit of wash off the rocks to the left, which will cut round to Whipsey. So there will be a little bit of cross chop coming off that. And it's literally high tide now. It's not going to get much higher. Just going to look out the window, and they're still quite a way away. So this is Noah trying to get back on the open face. That wave's just got no wall to it at all. But you just don't know that when you take off. Again, you've got to keep rolling the dice and hope that somewhere along your wave you get an opportunity to perform something. So looking at the scores, we've got a few scores to come through, but Seth Morris holding down first. No, Caps is over-scored. Stanley Norman's over-scored, as so is our surfer in blue, Max Hudson. So Stan with a quick up and down. 6 minutes, 45 seconds on the clock. So there could be a little bit of a position change. I'm not sure Noah did enough on that last wave to take the lead away from Seth. And Seth has a chance to improve on a 3.0. Here's Red. Nice snap there for Noah. A little check turn. Needs to time it for the free entry. He does. And just, he's going to do a run around. So he's going to head to the beach, possibly. Run back up into position. So Stanley on the beach doing a run around. So it's more like a triathlon today than a surfing contest. Paddle, duck dive, stand up on a wave, and then run around. Five minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. Under 18 boys, final. And once again, whoever finishes higher out of Noah and Stanley, I believe, will be crowned the champion. Let me have a look at my statistics. So Noah's entered 2 events. He's got 2 seconds under his belt. Stanley's entered 1 event. He has a first. So Stanley needs either a first or a second, depending on how Noah does in this event. So Noah needs to improve on a second. Stanley needs a first or a second. Here we go. Max up and riding then. On his forehand, cuts back. This wave just hitting a channel. He's got a little section. Nice little tag there. Found a foam climb to finish. So he's got 3.6 on his opening wave. This could bring him up into at least 3rd place above Stanley. He needs a 4.8 to move up into 1st place, take the lead away from Seth. .97 doesn't really help Max on his last wave. Really needs to start improving on a 2.6 to get those requirements down. And there's... Is that our yellow or is that one of the girls? 3 minutes, 40 seconds. All surfers now with at least 2 waves, so the situation at the moment, Seth Morris in the yellow holding down first place with a 5.4 and a 3.0. Noah Capps in second with a 4.2 and a 3.5. Max Hudson in the blue moves out of fourth into third, has a 3.6. He needs a 4.3, and Stanley Norman's having a bit of a shocker. He's been the on-form surfer. He won his second round heat to jump straight into the final. He can't get a rhythm at the moment. Needs a 5.84 to take the lead. And if he takes the lead, he will take the tour. So 3 minutes on the clock, 3 minutes remaining. You can see surfer in blue there, Max Hudson. Starting to drain now, the energy being sapped after being in a wet wetsuit all day. Okay, so Seth Morris not slowing down at all. Behind him, Stanley Norman with a quick in and out. Seth needs to get anything better than a 3.0. It's going to extend his lead and push requirements up. Here we go. White up and riding on the forehand. He's got a section to play with. There's just a lot of bouncing. There's just kind of, the flow's not quite there with these waves today. There's a lot of bouncing going on. If you can find an open face and just do some clean surfing, the judges are going to appreciate that. 2 minutes remaining. Our first final of the day. You can see that's I think that's Lauren from the open. So coming up next we have the women's open. Looks like it's Emily Curry there in the blue. So this is our next heat paddling out. The women's final. So Emily Curry, we have Lauren Sandland, we have Peony Knight and Ellie Turner. They'll be coming up in just over a minute's time. So Seth Morris extends his lead by, what, 1/10 of a point, almost 2/10 of a point. Now got a 3.17 as a backup and not a 3.0. So requirement for Noah Capps in the red, a 4.3, sorry. Max needs a 5.0 and Stanley needs a 5.6. Up and riding. This is White. White goes to the air reverse. Incomplete there. Blue out the back. He's pumping, waiting, and that wave just disappears.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So that could be it. I'm thinking that with that final roll of the dice, Mr. Seth Morris has taken out the under-18 boys. Stand by for confirmation. But it was pretty much a battle between... Oh, no, yes. No, it's Noah Capps. What am I talking about? Seth Morris takes the win, which means Noah Capps is going to walk away with the under-18 boys tour. Pretty sure that's what I'm reading on my screen. So Stanley Norman needed a first, second, or a third. So do wait for confirmation. We will see what happens there. Under-18 or women's open now in the water for surfers. So we have Lauren Sandland, Peony Knight, Ellie Turner, and Emily Curry. So in the women's final, down to 2 surfers. Peony has a first and a second. So if Peony gets a win, it's hers. Ellie Turner needs to win this take the title away from Peony. So we have two spoilers, Emily Curry and Lauren Sandland makes up our third and fourth surfer in the water. So I'm just standing by for official results on that last heat as far as the overall. Seth Morris taking the win, so he has won this one regardless. It's down to who finished higher between Noah and Stanley. Here we go, White up on the inside. So this is Ellie Turner, off to a quick start. She had a bit of a slow start on her last heat. A little bit lost at sea, got through on basically one wave. So she's not hanging around this time. It's Peony Knight out the back. So there it is, the official results of the under-18 boys tour. It was Noah Capps making all three finals, getting second in all three finals. It was down to Stanley Norman, needed at least a third, and he just couldn't find it. So congratulations to Noah Capps, taking out the under-18 boys tour for 2019. Two more titles to give away. In the women, it's a two-horse race. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. Peony Knight, it's just how you say things. Peony Knight and Ellie Turner. Peony with the first and second. Ellie just one win under her belt. Ellie needs to win this. And Peony needs to stop her. It's literally flip a coin. These girls are so even when it comes to their surfing capability. They travel a lot together. Compete together. We do make both their boards at the toy factory, believe it or not, although I'm not sure what Ellie's surfing at the moment. But both on the toy factory team. It's win-win for me. I'm happy regardless. But who's going to be the spoiler? Emily Curry? Lauren Sandland? 4 surfers in the water. 16 possibilities of how this heat could finish. It's all about maths. So we've got a couple of scores to come through. I think Ellie Turner at the moment has the best of the exchange. It was a quick up and down for red. On your screen there, a surfer from Bude, under 18 girls British champion. I mean, Ellie's pretty much been under 14s, under 16s, under 18s and open British champion. She's literally won everything available to her so far. Only just turning 18 this year, so she has a long career ahead of her. Currently studying at Exeter University, I believe. Just looking in, just making sure they're not drifting too far. So Peony and Ellie on screen. So they are literally looking in to see if the disc, so they probably can't hear the hooter, so they're using the disc as their visual start and finish of the heat. So 12.5 minutes remaining then. Scores up on the doors. Best wave of the heat so far. Surfer in white. Ellie Turner, a 4.17. Emily Curry with a 1.8. And Peony Knight, a 1.5. No way for our young 13-year-old Lauren Sandland at the moment. I've settled on 13. We're not really sure how old. We never really came to a decision how old Lauren is, but I think she's about 13. Or nearly 13. So 3 surfers, 1 wave, 1 surfer with no waves at the moment. It's just red spinning around on this inside. It's Peony Knight. Just keeping that board moving. Going with the wind. Nice little re-entry fin drift there. So, the legs are going to be burning after that one. It's going to be a score. It's going to be a backup score at least. Currently in third place for our surfer in red. A 1.5 opening wave there for Peony. And we just saw the surfer in yellow there, young Lauren. Do apologise for that line on the screen. It's just it's one of the poles down here. And there's white. Early Turner. Early Turner there. Soldiering on, head down, paddle, duck dive. Maybe get a breath, duck dive again. So scores coming in for last wave of red. 3.37 is going to see a surfer in red up into first place. So there's going to be a change in positions. Just over 13 minutes remaining. Our surfer's just getting blown right down the beach. Here we go. This is white. Oh, snap to nose dig there. Doesn't need much to move up back into the lead. Just waiting for... What do we need? What does white need? So Whitey needs basically a 0.7, so she might get that with a takeoff. But, it just shows you the angle that our surfers are at the moment, way down the beach. So not enough for white on her second wave of 0.63. She needs a 0.67. No, she doesn't. 0.71 will see white up back to first, so literally just taking off and making a bottom turn. And we do have a wave for yellow finally on the scoreboard for Lauren, 0.67. So at the moment it's the two surfers in first and second, and that is their current ranking. Surfer in red coming in as the highest seed, currently leading the tour on this final event. The Surface Pro down here at Watergate. The final leg of the UK Pro Surf Tour. So white did catch a sneaky little up and down there. 1.27 is going to see Ellie Turner jump back into the lead. So very close between our two higher seeds. You see Peony Knight double timing that paddle. Again, the surfers in the water probably not having any idea what position they are, what scores they have, or what they require. It's literally old school surfing. You go out and you just catch waves and you surf them to the best of your ability. So you can see there in the distance, that's Newquay. That shows the angle that our surfers are getting blown to. Looks like there could be a little rain squall coming actually, which isn't going to help. Bit of rain and sun. Got everything covered at the moment. 11 minutes remaining. So one more heat to come after this. Men's Open. They'll be paddling out very shortly. 10-minute paddle out for our surfers. So they'll literally run past us to the right, as we're looking out to sea, they'll run past us to the right, paddle out, and they'll just drift down into the contest area super quick. So we need the clouds to come back without the rain. We are typical surfers, never happy. One cloud, when it's sunny, we want rain. Cloud cover helps us at the moment just because of the glare. Here we go, red up and riding. Nice snap there for Peony on her backhand. Another little snap. Finishing this wave coming through. So two nice little turns out of the back there. Trying to get one more connection. The wave just dies away. So 9.5 minutes on the clock. So standing by for that last wave of red. Not long left in this Women's Open final. One more heat after this and then we're done for the day. Nine minutes on the clock. Scores coming through. Last wave of red. She might get rid of that 1.5. We shall see. 8 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock. High tide was about half an hour ago, so it shouldn't really go anywhere. It should kind of hang around for a little bit, at least get the men's final out of the way. Only one wave ridden for Surfer in Blue on screen. Emily Curry there, a 1.83. She needs a 5.32 to take the lead. Speaking of the lead, just been taken back by Peony Knight. A 3.77 and a 3.37 now sees her into first. Ellie Turner in the white drops down into second place. Still has the best single wave of this final, a 4.17. Needs a 2.98 to take the lead back. Lauren Sandlin there needs a 5.92. And our Surfer in Blue there, as I was just speaking, Emily Curry, 5.32. Here we go. No wave for blue. So the two battling for first and second, and not only battling for first and second in this event, it's for the overall women's tour title as well. Ellie Turner needs to win this. Ellie Turner winning the night surf. Peony Knight, she came second at the night surf and first at Wales. So if Ellie Turner finishes second, Peony would win because she's got one more result more. So it's all or nothing for Ellie. First place. Just over 7 minutes then. As time's ticking away. So 4 o'clock local time. Hopefully that sun's not going to peek through the clouds. It's still quite high, so we should get the men's final done pretty comfortably. They're coming up. They're already making their paddle out now, which means Seth Morris is back in the water where he belongs. And we got another squall. Or has it just missed us? Looks, oh, it just got missed. Just missed by a huge rain squall. Is he coming this way? Oh, excellent. Oh dear. Perfect timing then. More rain coming. Who is that? Emily Curry just getting a little bit caught by that set. Still paddling. Still only one wave for Surfer in Blue. So White coming into screen. Looking for something. She does. And a little snap off the top there. And she kicks out. Blue out the back. So second wave now for Surfer in Blue. Emily Curry. And now whoa, here comes a hurricane. Here comes a hurricane. Just looking at Emily Curry, Ellie Turner. She's got gloves on but no boots, which is interesting. I did go up to Bristol with her a couple of weeks ago. She didn't wear boots up there, but it was, you could just kind of get away with it. And we're just going to move our camera out of the rain. We just have a hideous rain squall coming through at the moment, so we do apologise. Got 5 minutes on the clock. The wind has just picked up about another 20 miles an hour as it's raining. Wind and rain.
Do we have like a cover? Anything?
So I do apologise.
I know.
So just waiting for scores. Under 5 minutes, 4 minutes 40 seconds remaining. No, you can't see anything at the moment, but that's just because our cameras just got soaked. So we're just coming back into view now.
4 minutes remaining, 4 remaining.
It does look like there's another rain squall coming as well. So men's open paddling out. They've just got caught by that squall as well. Literally just see that coming from a couple of minutes away, and then it just hits us. Jay Quinn in the red coming up the next heat. So Ellie Turner, last wave of 4.4, moves it back up into first. So 4.31 requirement for Peony Knight. 3.5 minutes on the clock. So very close. This has literally been back and forth between these two surfers in all events this year, not just on the UK Pro Surf, but also in the English and the British. And you can kind of now understand why we had to cancel the under-18 girls, just because of the dangers of sending them out in this treacherous conditions. And if you just tuned in, the under-18 girls tour title was won by Belle Bedridge on a count back between herself and Lauren Sandland. And Lauren is out in the open final as well. Currently in 4th place, needing a 7.11. First place at the moment then, White, holding down first with a 4.4 and a 4.1. Second place is Red, a 3.7 and a 3.3. Needs a 4.81. Third place in Blue, Emily Curry, has a 1.8, needs a 6.7. And Lauren Sandland down there in 4th, a 7.1 requirement. 2 minutes remaining. So just trying to find our surfers out there in this hectic waves. That's Blue. I think that's I was going to say that's Seth Morris for the Open. No, it could be Patrick Landon Dark actually. Coming up in the men's final. You can just see the wind going from right to left. Does look like a tornado. Winds gusting over 30 miles an hour now this afternoon. 1.5 minutes remaining then. It could be a done deal. Ellie Turner taking out the win here. We'll see her take the overall title. Peony Knight has a first and a second. So whoever finishes higher than the other in this will be given the champion tour of the women's 2019. Under a minute then of the Open Women's. Ellie Turner took a win at the night surf. Looks like she's going to walk away with a win here. Peony Knight, Blue's the only one in the water. so Emily Curry's the last surfer standing. So it does look like Ellie Turner's going to take out the event. Ellie Turner then going to take out the win for the event and the women's title for 2019. So congratulations, doing the double. Well done, Peony Knight there. Very consistent surfing, a first at the night surf, a second place at Wales, and a second place here at Watergate Bay. So great surfing between those two surfers. So there we have confirmation. Ellie Turner taking a tour. So we are now into the men's final. We have 4 surfers out of the water: Jay Quinn, Stanley Norman, Seth Morris, and Patrick Landon Dark. So Jay Quinn, probably a bit of a nod as the favourite, as the elder statesman. He's the older surfer in the water. Ruben Ash is going to be watching this with bated breath, because Patrick needs between a first, second, or third. We'll see Patrick as the overall winner. If Patrick comes last, Ruben's going to maintain that. So Ruben's got a first and a third. Patrick's got a first, so he needs at least a third to take the tour. And we got Jay Quinn, who had a very early exit at the night surf. He'll be looking for redemption. Absent from the Wales contest, but probably the favourite in the final. In these kind of conditions, it's a lot of luck involved. Here we go. First wave then for white. Looks like Seth Morris, Stanley Norman. Keeping that board moving. It's got an inside connection. A little fin drift as well. So nice opening wave there for Stanley. So there's basically 2 under 18s and 2 open surfers. Jay and Patrick first and second, I think, in the Welsh this year. Jay retaining the Welsh Open. Patrick taking the juniors. I think it was the juniors in the Open in Wales 2 years ago. 18.5 minutes remaining. So a nice little start there for surfer on white. A 4.18. Opening wave for Seth Morris in the yellow. That's a requirement. Opening wave for white then a 4.17, so a requirement for the other 3 surfers is a 4.18. Just one wave ridden so far. Now Stanley's, look how far inside he is. Look at that. He can't see out back. He can just see waves. And you can see the angle he's paddling. He's got to keep in the contest area. And here comes the sun again. This is our final of the day, the Men's Open. And again, Ruben Ash currently leading the tour. The only person who can take it away from him is the surfer in blue. There's 2 surfers way out the back. So Seth Morris, our surfer in yellow, hopefully still has some power left in his shoulders to keep him paddling. Here we go on the inside, white spinning around, so smart surfing. Oh, unfortunately just going over the handlebars. Stanley Norman, got to keep chipping away. If the opportunity presents itself, you've got to take it out the back. Anything happening out there? Red just goes over that one. That's Jay Quinn. So 2 waves for white, no waves for anyone else. 16 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. So Jay actually getting a bit of a break. Gets to sit on his board and take a breath. Oh no, still paddling. What was I thinking? I thought he was going to take a little 30-second breather. No chance. Here we go. Red. No, didn't really come up to anything. Just kind of disappeared. He has a little look at that one, and then you kind of puts you out of position. Here we go then. Surfer in blue. He needs to end this heat anywhere but 4th. He must know that. He should know that. He's catching waves. So it's going to be the second score. Stanley Norman with a 1.0 and a 4.17 currently in first place. Patrick Landon Dark now is going to open his account. Jay Quinn in the red, as we saw, was way out the back. Just over 15 minutes remaining then, the men's final. Who is going to be the last tour champion? We've got Belle Betteridge in the under-18 girls. We've got Noah Capps, under-18 boys. Ellie Turner in the women's. One more title to give away. Our camera person just scouring the lineup. Does look like it's calmed down. There you see two of our surfers on the screen there. Red and white was that. So Jay Quinn. Oh, blue on the inside. That's Patrick. Opened up with a 3.0. And there's white and red. So at least we know where three surfers are. Still can't find yellow at the moment. So Jay just ducking under that wave, gets caught out by this wave. So just when you think you're out the back, the surf's like, no, we got some way to go yet. Anyone on the inside there? Red still paddling, so Jay's still not settled on a wave. White right on the inside, you can just see to the left of the screen there. So we do have yellow up and riding, but off screen, right on the inside. So Seth Morris has been doubled up on the under-18s in the open, so he's been doing double duty. The shoulders will be burning, the legs will be burning, the lungs will be burning. As we see right on the inside, Stanley Norman, like an eternity away from out the back. So out the back, blue was a quick up and down. It's going to be a second score. It might help. He says Patrick has to finish. Here we go on his backhand then. Just goes out of screen. We're going to play catch up. And a nice re-entry on the right one. Comes through, gets a little connection. Oh, his feet a little bit out of sorts there. And kind of foam climb there. And maybe a little bonus section to finish with. So, made something out of nothing there. It's going to be, it's going to go with his 3.33. It looks like he's going to do the run around. And he's got 12.5 minutes remaining, so there's still time to improve on that as well. Here we go. Stanley Norman's going to do the run around as well by the looks of it. So just red way out the back with no score at the moment. First wave for yellow, a 1.0, so a quick up and down. Again, scanning the lineup. There goes a goose, or a geese. What was that, goose? What was that? It was a... There's red out the back. Oh, so Jay knows what he wants. If he can let loose on one of these bigger waves, it's just what he's hoping for. I mean, literally, that's the separation between catching inside waves and outside waves. When you're taking off on the inside, you're going to cap your maximum limit just because the wave's on the inside. Jay's given himself the maximum scoring opportunity, but you have to stand up on a wave to be scored. So it looks like surfer in blue. Patrick Landerdark's going to take the lead. 4.47. We'll see him catapult up into first place, which is the opposite of where Ruben Ash wants him to finish. So at the moment, it's going Patrick's way. But the danger man at the moment, our surfer in red, even though he hasn't caught a wave, just knowing what he can do, given the opportunity. Ducking under that wave there. It's like anticipation. It's like waiting. You're just waiting for him to just get on something. And the beauty is, when the sun comes out and Jay does one of those big power cars, it's just going to light the sky up with spray. It's going to be like a poem, an aquatic poem. 10 minutes to go, 10 minutes remaining then. Still surfer in red on screen. Still no waves for him. So, yeah, he's staying out the back. He's got a game plan and he's sticking with it, and I do like that. It's very honourable. What does he need to take the lead? It's 7.81. Okay, is he going to get jinxed? He's got a bit of a section. Nice big re-entry, free fall, smooth power carve. Watch the drop wallet coming up. Oh, he's just so clean, isn't he? Boink. Okay, that's what we were waiting for. That's the anticipation. So, he waited almost 11 minutes for that wave, and I tell you what, it was totally worth it. So he's currently in 4th place. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the lead on that one wave. That first re-entry falls out the sky. Big roundhouse, power carve, solid finish. 9 minutes to go. I mean, I'm no judge, but I could think we see a lead change. .817. I should be here to judge. So, and Anton would have given that 11 out of 10. So there we go, new leader there, surfer in red. He waited 11 minutes for that wave. Totally worth it. Jumps from jumps from 4th up into 1st with still 8.5 minutes remaining. So he gets another wave like that, he could be untouchable. But that's exactly what I was talking about. Just knew if he got the chance to open up on a wave, he would cause some serious damage. So that means Patrick Landendark now drops down into 2nd place, Stanley Norman down into 3rd, and Seth Morris, who has been a wave machine entire event. Still only one wave for yellow. He'll be down into 4th place. So there you go on screen. Jay Quinn there, 8.17, then he backed it up with a 1.47, which extends his lead by 1.47. Patrick Landendark in 2nd place, still with that finish. He's still going to finish 1st on the tour for the Open. Stanley Norman slides down into 3rd, so requirement for blue, 5.18, requirement for white, a 5.48, and Seth Morris, 8.65. For Seth. I think Seth is just, I don't know if it's just run out of power or the waves have just forsaken him now. Here he is on the inside, Speak of the Devil, New Shalapia. Little snap. And you can see the separation difference between the scoring potential on the inside and that on the outside. He hasn't got out of his wetsuit for literally 5 hours. So fair play to him. Not long now, Seth, you can get out your wetsuit. 6 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. And you can see him, he's like, oh, I've got to do the run around again. He's coming in, take a breath, catch your breath back. So, Ruben Ash up in the car park. I don't know if you should be watching this or not. He's probably, I don't know if I could watch it. But at the moment, Patrick Landendark is in a position where he's going to take the tour lead away from Rubes, who was going for back-to-back titles. Won it last year. 6 minutes on the clock, so we basically need 2 surfers to overtake Patrick to hand the lead back to Ruben for the tour. Is it going to happen? I just think Seth might have the energy, but it's just the rhythm now. One of those things. The ocean is a cruel mistress. Whatever you can do to catch a wave, that's out of your hands. The waves either come to you or they don't. And unfortunately for this final, the waves have just left Seth high and dry. 2 surfers out of the back. So that's white, duck diving there, blue, and Patrick just in front of him. So both surfers still in with a shout to take this contest out, as long as Jay Quinn doesn't get anything better than a 1.47. Not sure where Jay is. I don't know if he did a run around or if he's just paddling back outside the area. He did a run around. Yeah, okay, so Surfer in Red did do a run around. That's Jay Quinn trying to stay in the contest area, which is what you need to do. Drift too far and we won't be able to see you. If we can't see you, we can't score you. But unfortunately, it just takes so much energy and time out of your heat. Under 5 minutes remaining. Patrick there just ducking under that clothing. Here we go, yellow. So, white up and riding. Stanley Norman got a little bit of a battle for second place, to be honest. So this is going to be for bragging rights at the moment. And is he going to get a little reform? He's going to pump that board. He's got a little something on the inside. A little foam climb, and I think fatigue is kicking in now. Or as they say in France, fatigue. A little bit of French for you. Means I'm tired. So what does Stanley need to take second place? He needs like a mid to high 3. That's possible on that score. Push Patrick down to one more spot, down into third. Okay, so Mr. Quinn, the mighty Quinn. Early exit at the night surf, uncharacteristic actually. He went out in the quarterfinals, which was probably the shock of the contest. Was absent at the Welsh Open, and now he's shown up with no boots. He looks tired. He looks really tired. Just the way he kind of slumped forwards over that wave there, but he did well to stay out back for so long and then finally find that wave that give him a score on the excellent, which is almost double the best score of anyone else in the heat so far. It's 2.5 minutes, just over. So that battle for second is there between Stanley and Patrick. I think 2.5, last wave of white, not enough. He needs something around the mid to high 3s. God, the water temperature is 14 degrees. And at the wave at Bristol, it's about 11 degrees. So yeah. I need to get back in the sea, because it's going to be warmer than what I'm used to. So, 2 minutes remaining. Jay Quinn. Just head down. We were discussing his age, which you shouldn't do because it's not very gentle, but he's about 36. Maybe 34. Living just outside Newquay in Cuba. Oh yeah, congratulations to the Quinn family. There's yeah, another baby on the way, another little one for him to look after, him and his lovely partner. So congratulations. Oh, Stanley spinning. He wants second place. I just don't think that wave's got enough. What the hell was that? What was something just like a snowman walking past the camera there. It's not that cold. It's just going back. What's going on? Okay, 1 minute remaining. Surfer in Red holding down first. I mean, second and third, Patrick and Stanley will need the second best wave in the heat to take the lead away. A 5.18 and a 5.48 requirements for Patrick and Stanley. Here we go, here goes Red. Oh, he's tired, look at that. The arms are gone. I think he's done enough though with that wave in the excellent range. 8.17 is going to be the best wave of the heat. It's going to be the wave that gets him first place. So we've got just under half a minute remaining then, and it looks like the surfers are calling it a day. You can see that poor old Joseph, Seth, I mean, can now get out of his wetsuit. if he can make it up the beach. Not sure if he's got enough energy to bellyboard a wave in. So there you go, counting down. Congratulations to Jay Quinn taking out the win over Patrick Landon Dart. Congratulations to him. I will do a recap of our finalists and our champions after a very challenging day for the Surface Pro down here at Watergate Bay. So we had, in the under-18 girls, it was a tie between Belle Betteridge and Lauren Sandland. The title goes to Belle Betteridge, as she has done one more event. So the under-18 girls champion, Belle Betteridge, congratulations to her. Under-18 boys, it was a fight between Noah Capps and Stanley Norman. Noah Capps, taking his third second-place event in a row, is the under-18 boys tour champion for this year. In the women's, it was the two surfers up for grabs. It was Peony Knight coming in as the highest seed. Ellie Turner had to win this event, which she did. So Ellie Turner, congratulations, our Open Women's Champion for 2019. And as we just saw there, Jay Quinn, an absolute polished performance. One wave won it. He could have just got out on the one wave. That 8.17 was enough to see him into first place and to take that. In the Open title race for the tour, it was this man up on your screen, Patrick Landon Dart, beating out Ruben Ash into second place. So congratulations to PLD, his first UK Pro Surf Tour champion for 2019. Congratulations to all our surfers. Also thanks to all our sponsors for making this available, making this possible. Watergate, everyone down here, everyone behind the scenes. Producer Biff bringing all his camera stuff. We hope you've enjoyed it. We are going to sign off and we're going to go have a beer, I think. It's beer o'clock. And Seth Morris can finally get out of his wetsuit. So until next year, take it easy and we'll see you in 2020.